Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. Alongside Grant Sabo, I'm Alex Campbell. And Grant, we've got, as you would expect for this quarterfinal round, two of the best teams in the country squaring off today.
Yeah, statistically speaking, I mean, it is strength for strength. We've got some of the best scoring offenses and defenses in the country on the field today.
Tails is called.
Listening in here to the coin toss, Bethel have called tails. The captain and quarterback Cooper Drews. North Central have won the toss. And North Central
has won the toss, has chosen to receive.
North Central will take the ball. They did the opposite last week when they won the toss. They deferred to the second half, but they want the ball here today on a day where if you look on your weather app of choice, you might see that the high today in Naperville is 25 degrees. The misleading part of that is that 25 degrees was at 1 a.m. this morning, and the temperature has been constantly dropping ever since, as the Cardinals take the field with an expected game time temperature of 10 degrees. We've seen a blizzard, Grant, in the playoffs this year at North Central in round one against Hanover, and the Cardinals and the Royals will face a different type of difficult winter weather here today.
Yeah, of course, and these two teams are not postseason strangers either. Of course, they met in 2018, which Bethel famously delivered the last home loss that North Central has suffered here at Benedict Worley Stadium. Also, prior to that, met in 2013 in conditions, if you can believe it, even colder than this, up in Arden Hills, which North Central prevailed and went on to play Mount Union and Kevin Burke in the semifinals.
If I recall, the high that day was -2, but then you had the wind chill in, and yeah, and as we were talking with North Central head coach Brad Spencer yesterday, the hand warmer and tech wear and layering technology has improved significantly since then.
Yeah.
As you get a look there at Mari Roby, at Miles Walton, wrong number 2. I was going to say Mari had a heck of a game last week. There are 2 of them. And right now, this is interesting. North Central, I haven't seen this formation, is Bethel lining up really narrowly right now, like they might try to do an onside kick and just run this ball forward 10 yards.
Yeah, Bethel does this every time they kick off. They line up like that, and then they spread out. So if they want to try an onside, they can do it, and they've repped it. But North Central's got to honor that, which is why you see the tight return formation.
Instead, we will see a classic situation. No, it is going to be a pooch kick, and Jordan Williams, the halfback, calls for a fair catch at the 39-yard line. Cardinals handled that very well and learned a lesson last week where they ended up with a bit of a bobbled snap at the beginning of the second half, bobbled return, I should say. Clearly that was very well communicated that you are not to run with that football, and the Cardinals and their offense, the #1 scoring unit in the country this season, will begin their day at their own 38-yard line.
Yeah, Bethel did have luck last week recovering several of those kickoffs when they did parachute kick like that.
Cardinals begin the day with Garrett Wilson, the Region 5 Offensive Player of the Year at quarterback, flanked by first-team All-Region running back Donovan McNeil. McNeil gets the game's opening carry. McNeil bouncing outside. Donovan McNeil around the corner, across midfield, and out of bounds at Bethel 43-yard line. He was on a pitch count last week, Grant. We expect him to be a full participant today.
Yeah, he was dealing with the hamstring injury that he suffered about a month ago versus Illinois Wesleyan. He looked good last week, especially inside the line of scrimmage and those first 10 yards passed. He did, when he broke away, have a little bit of trouble finding that top gear.
McNeil entering the day, 1,158 yards on the season, averaging over 8 yards per carry. You saw why on that run as Grant McAtee is in motion, and Wilson will throw for the first time today. Wilson in trouble, escaping some pressure. Garrett cutting upfield, and he's brought down at the 42-yard line on the tackle. Number 28, Jake Borman, the Will linebacker, junior from Apple Valley, Minnesota. Big injury question today, Grant, was on the defensive line for Bethel. 2 of their top guys, including all Region 6 defensive end, Phil Conant. He and Marcus Whiting, number 0, both of whom did not play a snap last week, are both starting today, 0 and 47 on the defensive ends for Bethel. Second down. Wilson throws out to the left side. That's Thomas Skokna, the Gallardi Trophy semifinalist, and another all-region selection. Was also named an American Football Coaches Association first team All-American. Congratulations to him as he picks up about 7 yards to set up 3rd down and 3 for one of the nation's best 3rd down offenses.
Yeah, this Bethel secondary has looked good so far today. Wilson has had quite a bit of time to throw and go through his reads. The first time he couldn't find anybody and narrowly avoided a sack, and that time he had to check down to find Skokna coming across late.
Their defense led by safety and MIAC Defensive Player of the Year, Devin Williams. 3rd down and 3. McNeil dodges 1 tackle and pushes forward short of 1st down yardage as he gains 1. It'll be 4th down and 2. Decision time for the Cardinals.
I fully expect him to go for it here. I think this is 4 down territory, excuse me. I think, yeah, in comes McAtee, out comes Skokna.
If the Cardinals wanted to, they do have, as we'll discuss further later, the Maxwell Trophy Award winner, Aiden Ellison at kicker, who this would be a 49-yard field goal that is in his range. Excuse me, this would be a 51-yarder. They marked...
Still in his range.
Marked, yes. McNeil shorter than I thought. Skokna comes out for McAtee. Wilson hands up the middle. McNeil, can he escape? No, he can't. It's a turnover on downs to begin the day. What a stop for the Bethel defense.
Wow, yeah, excellent job by them. They got the penetration that they needed in order to move McNeil off of his path, and then were able to pursue from behind. McNeil couldn't quite break the ankle tackle.
Leading the way was the defensive tackle, number 90, Caleb Taylor.
Yeah, and 28 came in. And
Jake Borman, his 2nd tackle already. Borman, who entered the day with 82 tackles on the season to lead the Royals. And we'll see a lot of this pre-snap motion today for Bethel. Their offense under the direction of junior quarterback Cooper Drews. Drews, QB keeper, is wrapped up by Danny Nuccio for a loss.
Yeah, Nuccio came unblocked. I don't even think he was necessarily on a blitz. He just read that.
A collision of 2 second-team all-region players, Cooper Drews and Danny Nuccio. We'll see a lot of this as well. Hurry up action from Bethel. They gave Drews the line of scrimmage. They're not going to do much better on this play as Kyler Green wraps up Albert Rundell, who makes his 113th catch of the season.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Prolific, absolutely prolific. Fantastic receiver. We're going to call his name a lot today.
He picks up 3, 3rd and 7. The only person in the country with more touchdown receptions this season than Albert Rundell is Thomas Skokna.
Should see some fireworks today.
3rd and 7. Drews, another quick throw over the middle is through the hands of Roman Janes, the tight end, as it falls incomplete. And the punting unit will come onto the field for Bethel. It's an interesting balance that a team like the Royals have to strike, Grant. Their drives don't take very long for better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, they do like to run this hurry-up style, which teams typically like to avoid when they play the Cardinals, as it plays into the hands of North Central, giving them more offensive opportunities, seeing as they're one of the most prolific scoring offenses in the country. But then again, so is Bethel, so...
This is Eli Nowoski, who is on to punt, junior from Blaine, Minnesota, who has an 80-yard punt this season. Miles Walton wants no part of this, but is forced to pick it up in the end and will be dropped at the 19-yard line. Good, just safe ball handling there in the end.
Correct. It bounced right to him, wasn't taking an odd hop, and he prevented probably another at least 10 yards of roll and maybe more.
So the Cardinal offense will go back to work after turning the ball over on downs last time out. Cardinals had the 3rd best 4th down offense in the country this season, 82%. So a rare feat there by Bethel to stop the Cardinals in short yardage. So go ahead, Grant.
No, it's taken the Cardinal offense typically a couple series to warm up to just about every game this season. You don't see a lot of opening possession scores from them.
And they'll literally be warming up today, given the conditions. Jordan Williams is in the game at running back to begin this series as Skokna goes in motion. Bethel rushed 4, and that ball, Grant McAtee wasn't going to be able to make the catch, but he might have saved a touchdown the other way, to be honest, as lurking right behind him was Tyler Drury, the cornerback. And that high pass from Wilson in the end just falls harmlessly incomplete.
Yeah, Garrett kind of emailed that ball a little, airmailed that ball a little bit.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 at their own 20 for the Cardinals. Should note, no Sean Allen today. Picked up an injury in the week and did not dress for this game. So it's Williams, who's the 2nd halfback we've seen. He picks up about 5 yards on the second down carry.
That puts him into third and manageable here.
Jordan with his 47th rush of the year there, 216 yards now on the season. Was really bottled up though when he got in the game last week, rushed 3 times for -2 yards.
Yeah, he was having a little bit of a hard time getting going.
McNeil checks back in along with the tight end Dawson Trebolo, who largely plays as a fullback in this offense, but is lined up on the right end of the line next to Cortez Jones. First team all-region right tackle on this play. 3rd down and 5. Another handoff. McNeil trying to find the corner. McNeil all the way to the outside. Breaks the 1 tackle he needed to and is right near the sticks.
He got it.
He picks up the 1st down as trying to chase him down was the MIAC Defender of the Year, Devin Williams, from safety.
Boy, and take a look at the penetration that 43 got into the backfield.
It's Abdallah Abed, an all MIAC inclusion at defensive tackle, junior from Roseville, Minnesota. 32 tackles on the year. 1st down and 10 for the Cardinals at their own 31. Wilson on the play action, rolling. We'll just dump this short to McAtee, who is wrapped up immediately. A very nice tackle there by Devin Williams. Entered the day with 73 tackles on the season. A 4-time all MIAC inclusion now. And when we talked this week, Grant,
I think it's actually MIAC, WIAC, but MIAC.
How confusing.
I know.
No, when we talked this week with Coach Mike McElroy of Bethel, he noted to us that Williams was a starter at corner for the last 3 years, and then only shifted to safety this year to replace the departing Matt Jung. Pitch outside, McNeil has a hole, and he's across the 45.
Yeah.
Another 1st down.
So in the game last week versus Platteville had a lot of success rushing off tackles, but a big part of the reason of that was due to the fact that neither of those defensive ends were available. So with them both being back, it's interesting to see what's going to be available here.
Certainly you would think there will be some better lateral defensive speed, additional just size on the line as well. Conan and Whiting combined so far this season 88 tackles, and Conan 20.5 tackles for loss and 10 sacks. Just a huge miss for them last week. Zeb Rashid is running back number 3 of the day, and he plows ahead for maybe a yard.
Yeah, just sticking his nose in there and getting what he can. I didn't see much of a cut for him either way.
Rashid, the freshman from Neponset, Illinois. 400 yards rushing on the season for him and 3 touchdowns. Thomas Skokna splits out to the left. Jack Rummel at the bottom of your picture. 2 tight ends, Banker and McAtee, lined up on the left end of the line. Play action for Wilson with lots of time, and Jack Rummel is open and toe taps, something he does so well along the boundary. Cardinals move the chains again.
Yeah, easy pitch and catch for those 2. That was a nice kind of a lollipop of a pass. Rummel had enough room that he could catch it with ease.
Rummel's 2nd team all CCIW this season as he makes his 27th catch of the year.
Cardinal offensive line really do a nice job keeping Wilson clean today too.
A unit that's been so impressive this year given they had 4 new starters. Wilson again with time, fires a dart, and again it's Rummel. He's dropped at the 31-yard line, gain of 9 on the play, and a really confident throw there from Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, this is another thing that we saw in the game last week too versus Platteville. Platteville had a lot of success throwing right in that area, kind of like the hook to curl. You know, not quite in the flat, but not quite in the middle of the field either.
Should acknowledge that this is probably the coldest football game Garrett Wilson has ever played in his life, the Edmond, Oklahoma native. 2nd down and 1, McNeil checks back in this jumbo package. Handoff is to McNeil. He's got the 1st down and not much more, but the Cardinals, for the 4th time on this drive, move the chains.
Yeah, nice slow methodical drive here and getting it done both ways on the ground and through the air.
The 2 other quarterfinals already in progress are already maybe predictably one-sided. Johns Hopkins in control of their game out in Baltimore, and John Carroll up 2 touchdowns on Barry. 1st and 10 at the 28. another rush for McNeil. Good burst of speed through the middle, and he's down to the 20-yard line, a gain of 8.
Incredible blocking up front. There was a might hole there. I actually think he might have more room if he bounced that to the outside too.
And not uncharacteristically, Cortez Jones and his blocker ended up about 15 yards away from the pile. Jones, the converted defensive tackle to right tackle this season, and has been one of the best in the nation at that position. Jordan Williams back in the game. 4 wide receivers set with McNeil and Walton split to the left as we'll see Skokna in the backfield. He'll take the swing pass from Wilson. Skokna trying to get the edge. He does, and he just cuts forward for the first down. Really good spatial awareness there by Skokna.
I mean, his hips are so shifty. His ability to stop and get going again, get back up to speed, is what allows him to do things like that. He should have been tackled here for maybe a loss. It was really, really good pursuit, excellent angle, but he's just so hard to judge speed-wise.
It's the safety, Nick Collier. Second team all-region selection in Region 6. An all-MEAC inclusion at safety. First and 10 out the 17. 5 first downs on the drive. Wilson fumbled the snap, got it to Williams anyway. Williams cutting up field, and he got pinballed around a bit there and eventually is dropped at the 8-yard line. Is it a first down?
Not quite.
It'll be second down and short.
Yeah, really an effort play and a heads-up play by Wilson to stop and wait for him to get the ball to him rather than just taking off running.
So second down and 1 for the Cardinals. Williams remains in the game. Skokna in the slot to the right of the line. Jalen Johnson is in the game at receiver to the left. Wilson hands to Williams, and Jordan Williams is near the first down but might still be just short.
And that's right there.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Cardinals. 1 of 2 on the day. They've only faced 1 on this drive, and they picked it up.
McNeil back in.
Along with Dawson Trebolo. Trebolo, the up back in the backfield. McNeil on the left hip of Wilson, 3rd down and 1. Can Bethel make another big stop late in the North Central drive? McNeil has the football on the first down. There's a bit of a delay on the give there, but good communication between Wilson and McNeil.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened with the exchange, but whatever it was, they were able to work it out. And heads-up play by McNeil to see that where he was supposed to run was kind of gummed up, and he just kind of bounced that to the outside and was able to pick up what he needed to.
Caleb Busey made the stop, but not soon enough, as it's 1st and goal for the Cardinals inside the Bethel 5. Skokna and Rummel, the only receivers, 2 tight ends. Regional Player of the Year offensively in Region 5 by D3Football.com, and head coach Brad Spencer told us that even he was a bit surprised to see Wilson get the award instead of Thomas Skokna, but says it's a really it's nice to see Garrett get that recognition in his first year in this offense. Donovan McNeil up the middle is going to get down to the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal upcoming. 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal, yeah.
Cardinals continuing to chew up clock on this, their 2nd drive of the game.
Yeah, the whole first quarter's gone by, and I think Bethel's only run 3 plays.
Correct. North Central was stopped at the Bethel 34 on a 4th down on their first drive. Bethel went 3 and out. Cardinals began this drive at their own 20. 3rd and 1. Another 2 tight end set. McNeil to the goal line. Touchdown. Donovan McNeil scores for the Cardinals to begin the scoring in this national quarterfinal. His 9th rushing touchdown of the season has the defending champs on the board.
Gets in on his feet, too. Really nice job up front by the Cardinal offensive line, getting him through there relatively unscathed. It's exactly what we wanted. Everybody knew what the call was, too, and they were still able to kind of do it at will. Basically did whatever they wanted to on that drive.
Aiden Ellison on for the extra point. He's 62 out of 65 on these this season, but hasn't missed one in, I believe, months.
Yeah.
Chip Dose is the holder. Nate Boylan is the long snapper. Under lots of pressure, Ellison's kick is up and good. 2:21 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Cardinals. Will take another look at a short touchdown run for Donovan McNeil.
Yeah, he was met right at the goal line, but they weren't stopping him. Not to be denied.
Garrett
Very
Wilson
powerful
was
runner.
celebrating as soon as he let go of the football.
Yeah, he knew. Yep. There it is.
Great work there on the left side of that line. Isaac Banker, Tyson Kramer, Brock Nunez. The trio of blockers there as everybody runs to the heater.
Yeah, I would be too. I don't blame him.
So
Trying
what?
to keep those hands warm.
So what sort of response now do Bethel have? Again, we saw them on that hurry-up set. They really rushed through those first 3 plays, didn't get anywhere.
No, they certainly didn't.
And we'll see if they make any adjustments for drive number 2 as Ellison gets ready to kick this away. As we mentioned, the winner of the Maxwell Award, which is awarded to a kicker of any level outside of FBS, so Division I AA, Division II, or Division III, and it's a recognition both of excellence on the field and community service off the field. Ellison became just the second ever Division III player to win the award. It was also cool to see Fred Mitchell himself make the announcement on the 670 The Score morning show the other day here in Chicago. Great to see North Central be, represented on that stage, and Aiden Ellison, who's had just a phenomenal season in what looks like it's going to be a college football swan song in his hometown, well deserving of such an honor. He'll scoop this ball into the air as rushing up to field this at the 23-yard line was the running back number 10, Riley Gritz. And apparently the Cardinals decided they did not want any part of Devin Williams returning that kick. And so Bethel will start this drive. And see where they mark this down. It'll be the 36-yard line.
Yeah, interesting. Knowing that he could put it out of the back of the end zone here.
Second series now for Bethel and Cooper Drews at quarterback. Drews turning, and their first rush of the day is going to be dropped in the backfield. It's the outstanding freshman Tay Mans on the carry, but up from his safety position is Braden Garrigan for the TFL.
Yeah, and credit also Eli Rennick a little bit for getting a hand on him and slowing him down in the backfield.
2nd and 11, right back to it, play action. Drews launching down the far sideline. He's got a man, and Mari Roby broke it up.
Yeah, got his head around in time to see the football.
Ball just slightly underthrown, and limping as he gets back to his feet there is number 5, Albert Rundell, and that is the last
No, I don't want to see that at all. Hopefully he's all right.
Rundell has gone straight to the sideline and is limping over toward the bench. Certainly something to keep an eye on. They'll face 3rd down and 13 without him. Drews is in trouble, gets it away, and the pass falls incomplete. Garrigan on the coverage. Tyler Terry, the intended receiver, and it's another 3 and out for Bethel. Whatever they drew up on their offensive script today, Grant Sabo, is not working.
No, either that or, of course, defensive coordinator Shane Dierking and what he has drawn up has been perfect, and they're ready for them.
Shane Dierking is a finalist again for the Division III Coordinator of the Year award, which is just kind of an annual occurrence these days. He won it a couple of years ago. Back on to punt is Nowaski, excuse me. And this is a line drive, and that is fumbled by Miles Walton, and he does well just to jump back on top of it. That football is a rock out there today.
It really, it's so hard to catch. I feel for these receivers, especially with their hands being cold, I'm sure most of the time, or trying to field any kind of kick is going to be a tall task today.
Shane Dierking won that Coordinator of the Year award in 2022.
Okay.
But then, of course, in 23, this team led the CCIW in scoring defense and total defense. Last year, they were the best third down and red zone defense in the country. They've been even better this year. 1st and 10 Cardinals looking to follow up that touchdown drive. They didn't get much of a break. Jordan Williams around the near side. Really good blocking downfield. Williams has some daylight, and he's pushed out of bounds after a big, big gain by Jackson Braun.
I saw Tyson Kramer pancaking guys downfield on that run.
The left tackle swung all the way around here, and keep an eye out for 54. All the way downfield there ahead of everybody else. Kramer, the sophomore from Sauneman, Illinois, 2nd team All-CCIW, 1st-year starter, replacing a legend in Jeske Maples at that left tackle spot. Biggest play of the day for the Cardinals, courtesy of Williams, who stays in the game. Now in plus territory, 1st and 10. Wilson standing in, incomplete. Skogna looked like he was going to break off his route there as Jake Borman was in coverage, and the ball sailed low and wide.
So he's talking with Garrett, getting it sorted out.
Wilson with a couple of errant passes so far today, but again, the football's a rock. And as much as you practice in cold weather, when you come out here for a game and it's even colder than any of the practices you ran this week, that preparation can only help you so much.
It's not something you can simulate.
2nd and 10. Williams the carry, picking his way up the middle, gets down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 5. Will set up 3rd down and 5. As the clock runs down here in the 1st quarter, Cardinals will have to snap it at least once more.
I will say this is the best we've seen Williams look all season.
I was going to say, early signs here, could this be the Jordan Williams game for the Cardinals? He's a guy who he's never been, I don't know if he's ever been in the top 2 or even maybe top 3 of the depth chart, but he has been just a really reliable player. And we've heard over the years how good of a teammate he is in that running back room. This play looked like it was going nowhere, and really that's the result as it gets back to the line, but no further. Really good tackle there on the play by number 42, Dylan Hageman, coming off the edge. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and that was supposed to go outside, and they didn't have an opportunity to. It was just barely able to cut inside of the force man, but the force man did his job and forced everything back inside to where everybody else can make the play.
That is how the 1st quarter ends. The Cardinals will be facing 4th down and 5 from the 35, and they lead 7-0 after 1 quarter of this National Division III quarterfinal. Thank you so much for spending your morning, your afternoon with us here on ESPN Plus. Alex Campbell and Grant Saba with you from Benedetti Worley Stadium. And Grant, this is an opportunity for us to note a moment that we were not on air for yet, but that hopefully if you joined us for the beginning of the broadcast you caught, which was a moment of silence for former Cardinal National Championship winning head coach Jeff Thorne, who sadly passed away on Tuesday after a battle with cancer. The Cardinal community has really been outpouring their support, their prayers this week. And Grant, as a guy who played for Coach Thorne as your offensive coordinator back a couple of decades ago, I know how much he means to you and how much he meant to this program.
Yeah, I mean, I had the tremendous fortune to be under his direct guidance for 4 years, and the lessons that I took away from him and the way that they have improved my life going forward, I mean, I can't even, there's no words, and I'm devastated, and especially on behalf of his family and the entire Cardinal Nation.
Well, we might have a lot of words to say about this kick. Aiden Ellison, this would be from 52. Wind is now in the Cardinals' favor after flipping the field for the quarter. Out of the hold of Chip Dose. Ellison's kick is up. Does it have the distance? No, it's just short. Kicking on a day like today, extremely difficult. That would have been good from 50. It wasn't good from 52. And it's a 2nd turnover on downs, effectively, of the day for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's you're kicking a rock out there, and asking kickers whose legs aren't as warm in conditions like this and maybe don't have kind of the stretch to boot a 52-yarder is a tall task, and he still almost got it done.
Now you know what his range is, though, for the day.
Sure.
With the wind, you can kick from 50. Do your math for against the wind as necessary. So Bethel get a 3rd crack at this on offense. they have gone nowhere on their first 2 series. Running right up the middle is Tay Mans, and that's more like it. Mans for a first down on a gain of 10.
Yeah, broke through 2 tackles, got through the first and second levels before he was finally brought down by the third level of the Cardinal defense, and that's their first down of the day.
Quick sub in comes David Geebley, at running back. Geebley takes this carry and just runs right into a wall. Picked up maybe 2 yards, Geebley. Bit of a 2-headed monster in the backfield.
Yeah, we'll see a steady diet of both of them today.
Geebley 141 rushes this year, Mans 159 entering the day. Drews, play action near side. That's a really nice catch along the sideline by number 22, Tegan Vibrock.
Yeah, Vibrock ran an outstanding route there.
And it's back-to-back first downs for this Bethel offense. Drews sending 5 men wide to begin this set, including a tight end. On the left of the line, that's Janes. Drews immediately recognized he was in some trouble and keeps it for a gain of 2.
Boy, heads up play there by Kyler Green coming up from his defensive back spot to make that play.
Yeah, Green and Garrigan both crashing the box on that occasion. 2nd and 8. This is Geebley right up the middle. Ran into Matt Janiak among others after 2 more yards.
Big third down here for the Cardinals. Oh, I believe they're in 4-down territory here.
Janiak, if that's his first tackle of the day, it's his 80th this season for the sophomore. 3rd and 5. 0 for 2 so far on 3rd down today are Bethel. 3rd and 6. My apologies. Bethel on the season, 55% on 3rd down. Drews, QB keeper looking for space, is close. Danny Nuccio made the tackle. I think he's going to be just
shy.
short.
Yep.
Call it 4th and less than a yard, and they've got to go for it here. %63% on 4th down this season. Drews tries a couple hard counts. That didn't work. More shifts in progress.
They got all kinds of time.
4th and 1. Drews right up the middle, got the first down.
Yep, that was exactly what they needed.
Good execution by Bethel. Good lead block there by Roman Janes, playing as a fullback on that occasion. Number 44. Just took on Matt Janiak in the hole. 1st and 10 at the 31. Drews, play action, looking to the end zone for Vibrock. The ball was underthrown. Vibrock slipped, and it falls incomplete. Jamar Daniel had the coverage.
Yeah, heads up play by Daniel there to just kind of put his hands up and run by him. So they didn't get called for any kind of PI.
2nd deep ball, though, we've seen be underthrown, that if it had the proper air under it, might have been a touchdown. One to Rundell earlier, who is back out there after limping off on the last series. 2nd down. And a fumble, the ball's loosened on the ground. It looked like Janiak has it, and he does.
Wow, he just went back with his hand to put the ball in a position to be able to throw it, and it slipped right out.
Matt Janiak recovers his first fumble this season, and after a finally promising drive for the Royals, a turnover gives the ball back to North Central.
Yeah, that's not what you need if you're Bethel at this point.
Drew's just pump
Yeah, a little
faked
pump
and
fake.
lost it.
Yeah.
And you had Janiak and J.P. Sullivan there right away.
Mm-hmm.
Janiak's such an impressive football player. A guy who became a starter last year as a freshman.
Yeah, worked his way into the lineup throughout the course of the season.
And just a go-to guy now on this defense. Cardinals, after the missed field goal on their last drive, go back to work. Donovan McNeil dropped the ball. And the referees rule
incomplete.
That's an incomplete forward pass.
Yep, I agree.
Good awareness by McNeil anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But on a day, Grant, where it seems like points are going to be a hard thing to come by, just a heartbreaking moment if you're Bethel, to not be able to get some points out of your first productive offensive drive of the game.
Right. You know, and if North Central puts together another 17-play drive like they did on the first one.
There's only so much time in a football game for 17-play drives. Zeb Rashid is the running back. Quick throw is batted down. Really, really good play. Jackson Braun on a safety blitz.
Yeah, Braun was right where he needed to be. It was lucky that that was not a pick six. He'd still be running if he caught this football.
In warmer conditions, yeah, I think actually that might have been a double deflection. I think Hageman got the touch there first. Notable right now that Hageman, number 42, he's one of the backups at defensive end. He has been getting more snaps than Phil Conant, and you wonder if Conant gave it a go on that first series and might not have it today as they would have hoped. 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals. Wilson, QB keeper, and he's got nowhere to go, just trying to get around the outside. He's wrapped up in the backfield and then is thrown to the ground out of bounds, and a flag comes in late. And Bethel are going to undo some really good work here by over-aggressiveness after they already had him stopped.
Wow. If this is on Bethel, that is a tremendous mistake.
His forward progress was stopped inbounds. This play had been over for a couple of seconds by the time he ends up on the turf. We'll have to get a replay to see how substantial a second effort there was. Also, if you're curious, I believe that is offensive coordinator Colin Dooling, who's the man in the shorts.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 15. That penalty is declined.
Interesting.
It's 4th down.
Not what we expected. Garrett Wilson grabbed the face mask of Collier, excuse me. We'll take another look.
Let's see what we can see here. It's all the way on the opposite side of the field.
I assumed this was for a late hit, but no, yeah, Wilson just handful of Collier's face mask. And then you see Collier and Borman well out of bounds.
Yeah,
bring him down.
Dump him, yeah. Could have been a twofer there if they wanted to, but
the outcome would have been no different.
No.
Given that the penalty was declined. 4th down, and Chip Dose will punt for the first time today. And we've got whistles.
Timeout. I don't see a flag. I think somebody called timeout. I think us, because we were trying to get set.
There's going to be discussion here. You know what? I think what it was, the 4th down marker was at the 10-yard mark, the normal chain mark.
Oh.
And then right before the snap, the person holding it ran back 3 yards when they realized they were in the wrong spot. So I think that's what happened.
Play game, offense, 5-yard penalty, it's 4th down.
Boy, we were both wrong.
Didn't even notice that.
No, I didn't see a flag anywhere on the field.
I didn't either.
All right, well.
So some general confusion here, and Dose will have to kick this again. 4th down and 17. Devin Williams back to return, the MEAC's best returner this season. And in the end, he had to stoop to collect that one at the 35.
Yeah, still setting up shop at pretty good field position here.
So can Cooper Drews and Bethel shake off that last drive where they did some really nice stuff. We're moving the ball with pace, and then a pump-faked fumble. Turn the ball over to the Cardinals. Credit, though, to the Bethel defense as North Central is unable to cash in on the turnover. Bunch formation here for Bethel. Let's see if they spread it out. Terry and Stoska both to the top of your picture. And they'll throw it out there for Terry. He's wrapped up by Garrigan and Daniel after a short gain.
Yeah, I mean, there was some success in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs against the Cardinals, running plays similar to that, if you've got the guys that can kind of move and shake out there.
Tyler Terry had a crazy game to begin the year against Northwestern of Minnesota. He caught 15 balls week 1.
Wow.
Drews, play action. Kyler Green runs right by him, and Drews slides down after a gain of 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's textbook over pursuit. You got to break down on him. Ran right by him. Still flushed him, but he was able to pick up positive yardage.
Cooper Drews is a willing runner, but he's not the fastest. He's probably not going to beat you to the outside. 3rd and 3. The give demands, and a 1st down.
Boy, just enough of a seam there. Really nice job blocking by the Bethel offensive line.
It's as if the Royals offense, Grant, just kind of relaxed after those first 2 series, and they just look so much more comfortable over these last 2 possessions. 1st and 10. Up the middle goes Mans, and he's got room. Mans into the secondary is dragged down from behind by Janiak after a 15-yard gain.
Boy, and Mans' vision is great because it's not like he's got these massive holes to run through, but he's finding seams.
The 5'11", 205-pound freshman from Duluth, Minnesota. Drews a quick pass, and that almost was dangerous. Rundell gets out of bounds. Also, those plays rely so much on timing because if you're a receiver, you can't engage in a block before that ball is out of the quarterback's hands.
Before it's caught, right?
Right. Although I feel like that's one of those that's enforced kind of greatly. Mans up the middle again and again into the second level.
What vision he's got.
And again, it's Janiak who makes the stop. That'll be a 1st down again. So this looks a lot like the last Bethel drive, and this is about where they got in trouble. Mans up the middle, just trying to push forward, and a great job here by the Bethel offensive line to help him pick up 4. 4 all-conference inclusions on that line, which from left to right is Isaiah Ward, Juan Orozco Sanchez, Yeager Ash, Luke Ainsley, and Tristan Cantu. Cooper Drews is in big trouble. Just tries to throw it away. Was that ball caught?
No.
Great effort by Tyler Terry in the end as it falls incomplete. J.P. Sullivan, the regional defensive player of the year, had the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a heads-up play by the quarterback to be able to get rid of the football.
Third and 6 for Bethel. Jeebly is the tailback. Quick throw to the outside. Terry looking for room, and that's really close to a 1st down.
He's going to be short, barely, but I think they're going to go for it here.
No, there's a lot of contact out there on the perimeter on these screens. 4th and 1. Drews hands to Jeebly, and he got just enough.
Just enough.
And the Bethel drive continues. Nice collection of fans in the away stands today. All bundled up, making the trip down from Minnesota.
Yeah, it's about, I think, a 7-hour drive.
1st and 10 at the 18. Drews, play action over the middle. Terry caught the ball, took a hit, and has a 1st down inside the 5 as Garrigan eventually made the stop.
Yeah, Jamar Daniel had a chance to lock him up right away and just whiffed on the tackle.
1st and goal. Drews, quick throw to the end zone. What a catch by Albert Rundell. Touchdown Royals.
What a drive. That was exactly what they needed. It was what they showed in the previous drive before the mishap. And they come right back out, shake that off, and march right down the field, running the ball, passing the ball, doing what they want. Methodical.
Rundell, the all-region wide receiver, with a big catch. And now Bethel an extra point away from tying this game up midway through the 2nd quarter. This is Ryan Bankston on for the extra point. Extra point is low, but through the uprights and good. So with 7:38 to go in the 2nd quarter, Cardinals 7, Royals 7. And they've weathered a bit of a storm here, have the Royals. And they've tied this game up as you get another look at that catch by Rundell.
Be interested to see what the Cardinals do here when they come out in this series. I feel like on the drive they were successful. They ran the ball a lot more. On that last drive, they kind of started to throw a bit, and things ended up not going their way.
So you might not know it by watching him play, as you get a look there at the Bethel fans, but Albert Rundell last year was a backup quarterback, got hurt midway through the season, and came back this year and kind of volunteered to be a wide receiver. And when we talked to head coach Mike McElroy, he said, I don't know if you can explain it. It's not a genius coaching move. We just kind of lucked into it. And so making his 22nd receiving catch for a score of the year, Rundell gets this game tied up. And I'm not sure what kind of game we were expecting, Grant, but we've got a good one here in Naperville. spread this out again, and for the game's opening kickoff, we saw a bit of a pooch kick by Nowaski. We'll see what he chooses to do here. It'll be the same thing again. This ball will be caught and returned right up the middle, out to the 40-yard line by Will Diamond, the tight end.
Yeah, Will Diamond, very sure catch there. And a nice straight ahead run, didn't try to get too fancy, just got what he could, and that's an extra 11 yards that the offense doesn't need to get.
A quick check around the country, 2 games in progress. They're both midway through the third quarter. Johns Hopkins leads Susquehanna 20-3. John Carroll got that early 14-0 lead over Barry, and they have held it. Saw Phil Conant check in there to begin the drive, and then he checked right back out. On the defensive line for the Royals, 1st and 10 Cardinals. Donovan McNeil in the backfield with Garrett Wilson. McNeil looking for space and is dragged down eventually by Borman after a gain of 3.
Yeah, I still like handing the ball off.
Okay, coming into this game, Grant, it's a matchup of 2 of the top 3 offenses and defenses in terms of scoring in the country this season. And it's very much a something's got to give situation, and so far it's the defenses who are winning the day. 2nd down and 7 for North Central. McNeil now 11 carries for 60 yards and a score. Wilson will keep it this time, and he's brought down after a short gain by Jackson Braun.
I picked up 3 or 4 there. It was really good fake. I thought that McNeil had the football.
Garrett Wilson entering the day, 325 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Most notably, began his Cardinals career at home in week 1 against, I guess week 2 technically, against UW Oshkosh with a 51-yard touchdown run right up the middle that the Titans clearly were not prepared for. 3rd down and 3 for the Cardinals. 3 out of 6 on 3rd down today. McNeil up the middle has the 1st down, and the Cardinals needed that. He's to the 45 of Bethel.
Good thing Cardinals coaching staff's got me on the headsets. No, they're excellent, of course, at what they do. I'm sure they saw what I saw long before I said it.
There's a group of Cardinals coaches, one booth to our left, but of course both Brad Spencer and Eric Studeman, who helm the offensive decision-making process, are both down on the field. Though it looks like there's a fewer coaches than usual out there today, and I can't blame the ones who had the option of going inside for taking that. Jordan Williams, left tackle, picks up about 4.
Yeah, some hard-fought yardage there, too.
Leading the way was first-team All-Region center Jared Durian. Cardinals are set to bring back 4 of the starting 5 offensive linemen next year. Nunez, the only senior of the group.
Yeah, and that's good news considering what they had to replace last year. Or this year, I should say.
Durian was a sophomore last year and the only returning starter. 2nd down and 6. Williams again, trying to cut up field and just runs into a wall of white. Number 93, Elijah Clausen, the sophomore, made first contact after a gain of 1, and the Cardinals face another 3rd and medium.
Yeah, and that's a really nice job up front by the Bethel front 7. Just kind of stonewalled the Cardinal offensive line.
Donovan McNeil checks back in. Play clock is under 20 at the moment. Jalen Johnson also checks back in, along with Grant McAtee. Cardinals will go with 4 wide receivers. And interesting, Johnson lined up as a tight end on the right end of the line. Haven't seen that before. He's there to block. McNeil forward for maybe 2. And the Cardinals, I expect, will go for this.
Yeah, this is 4-down territory here, especially given what we saw as far as Aiden Edelson's range on a day like today.
Banker and Trebolo both into the game. Rummel and Skokna both out. This is as heavy a blocking group as the Cardinals are capable of putting out there. Here comes Will Diamond, too, as a late sub. And they got Bethel to jump. Really, really well done by the Cardinals. You make the late sub off the bench. Wilson runs to the line, and I think Caleb Taylor jumped. Cardinals offensive line saw it, and they're going to pick up a first down via penalty.
Yep, nice cheap way to get one there.
I think we've seen, this is the first one we've seen
all
year.
Yep.
Offsides. Defense number 43. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Yeah, usually these teams are so disciplined. You don't see that very often at all.
Again, I got to wonder if it's that late sub that just distracts your attention.
Honestly, yeah, no, that's a nice little wrinkle there.
And by the time you look back to the middle, suddenly the quarterback is under center, a thing this Cardinal team never does.
I've never seen them under center all season, so.
Jake Pieper checks in at wide receiver for the first time today, the senior from Vernon Hills, as Skokna goes in motion on 1st and 10. McNeil, space to the near side. Will he win the race? He will. Touchdown, Cardinals.
All right, that's exactly what we needed to see. You know, we weren't sure where he was at as far as his hamstring goes and what kind of gear he had, and you saw it there as the non-dressed Cardinals players topple the fence.
Yeah, Will Barthel, the cornerback, found that out the hard way. Excuse me, that's Ben Molnau, number 8. Ellison is on for the extra point. Ellison's kick is up. It's good. 3:10 to go in the second quarter, and a very good response from the North Central offense. Donovan McNeil, 33-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, excellent blocking here. Just kind of getting in faces, too, not even really sealing anybody off. There were 3 white jerseys to the outside of any blockers, but McNeil just outran them all. Also, I want to highlight Chip Dose on that extra point. The snap kind of got skipped in there a little bit, and he still got it up and got it onto the point for the kick.
Sorry for the ID mistake on that last one. They had Will Barthel has been a regular in the defensive backfield this season, a sophomore, hit 35 tackles on the year. Ben Molnau is dressed as number 8 today, a freshman from Norwood, Young America, Minnesota. And as far as I can tell, this is the first game he has played this season. Talk about a tough task.
I was going to say, welcome to Naperville.
Bethel prepared for another short kick from Ellison. And I wonder if this is an occasion, Grant, where he instead just kicks it over everybody's head.
Yeah, send it. You got the wind. I would, unless they're worried about hurting him with the cold conditions.
I do wonder if that's part of it, just have him go under the ball and just kind of scoop it. Ellison will send this one deeper as it's fielded at the 9-yard line. And stopped at the 21 is number 26, Ian Berkman.
Yeah, Berkman tried to get what he could there. The pursuit was just too good.
So 3 minutes and 5 seconds with all 3 timeouts for the Bethel Royals offense to repeat their success last timeout on that touchdown pass from Drews to Rundell. They'll split the fullback, Janes, all the way out to the near side. Drews to the far side, completes, and out of bounds is Dylan Staska.
A nice pitch and catch there, picked up 5 yards.
Staska, who made his first touchdown reception of the year last week against UW-Platteville. 2nd and 6. Janes in motion. Play action over the middle. Bit of a high throw. Rundell makes the catch as Ethan Grork makes the tackle. And Bethel pick up a first down.
Yeah, great route by Rundell there. I didn't even see him coming over until it was too late. Nice little slant there, but he ran it at the perfect depth.
Quickly to the line. Jeebly gets the carry, and he's got a first down. He was stood up by Garrigan after a gain of 10.
Well, he is just finding his way through those little seams in the line.
And again, with the combo of Jeebly and Mans, they're able to keep those guys fresh. First and 10. Jeebly again up the middle, and again with space, breaks a tackle, and Nuccio brings him down at the 39. We have not seen any team this season, Grant Sabo, have this kind of success running the ball between the tackles against the Cardinals.
No, definitely not. I mean, and the way that they're doing it too, just kind of finding those little seams and getting going. And two, we're seeing some uncharacteristic. We saw Groark there completely over pursue and not really have a shot at that tackle either.
Just the acceleration, though, from both David Jeebly and Tay Mans, really, really impressive. Also, congratulations to Mr. Jeebly, the redshirt junior, who today surpassed 2,000 career rushing yards.
Wow.
Playing his 38th game today as a Royal. 24 total touchdowns in that time. And last week against UW-Platteville was just the second time this season he's gone on over 100 yards. 167 yards on 21 carries last week in that game, in that win over the Pioneers. Always slightly funny to me that there are two different Wisconsin colleges in Division III who wear blue and orange, named the Pioneers. Carroll University of the CCIW, of course, being the other one.
Of course.
Johns Hopkins have added another touchdown. They lead 27-3 out in Baltimore. Still 14-zip, John Carroll over Barry. Drews, pump fake. Looking long, and instead just goes short, and somehow Rundell, of all people, is wide open, and he picks up 4 yards.
Somehow. He's always open.
I mean, he showed it on the touchdown catch. He wasn't open at all, and he was open. It's how you get to a point where you're approaching 120 receptions for the season. And yes, if you're doing the math at home, they've played 12 games this year. Mans up the middle.
Boy, absolutely outstanding running the ball between the tackles. This is the first team we've seen all year to do it.
Excuse me, that was Jeebly.
Interchangeable, they're both great.
He was through the hole by the time I could try to see the number. 3rd and 1. Jeebly again is stood up. The Cardinals were ready for it this time. It'll be 4th down, and the clock is running. Both teams with all 3 of their timeouts.
Huge 4th down here.
4th and a short 2. Whistles and a timeout by North Central.
Yep.
Timeout, North Central. They're first of the half.
Which, of course, you do knowing that if you get the stop, you effectively get a bonus timeout.
Right, of course.
Good to see the guys who aren't fit to go out there in the huddle. You might see on the right side there, that's Caden Hartnett on the cart, had that foot injury a few weeks ago that ended his season. We wish him a speedy recovery.
But in the meanwhile, he gets a pretty cool scooter.
I guess that's we'll call that a perk?
It's a trade-off, I guess.
Sean Allen also saw him out there today with his teammates. Looking down to our left, braving the elements worse, is the replay tent, which has been mangled by the wind already today.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we saw that blow over a couple of times 2 weeks ago.
4th down. And a different wrinkle now from Bethel. They're going to come out in this stack formation. Let's see where everybody goes. 4th and 2. Jeebly is the tailback. Drews will keep it. Drews throws, and Rundell slides to make the catch.
Oh, just barely picked up that first down, too. He knew right where the sticks were and right where he needed to be.
Another connection from Drews to Rundell, his 6th catch of the day. 1st and 10 at the Cardinal 28. Clock is moving at 1:10 to go. Jeebly up the middle into the pile. Gain of 3, maybe 4.
And we've seen North Central give up yardage between the 20s, but a lot of times they'll tighten up in the red zone, so let's see what happens here.
That's what Bethel did against UW-Platteville last week.
Sure did.
5 turnovers, all by UW-Platteville and plus territory. Jeebley up the middle is met by Garrigan. Is it a first down? Doesn't matter. They're going to call a timeout as Mike McElroy runs out to get the
timeout
officials' attention.
Bethel.
They're going to mark
Their
it
first
just
of the half.
short. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. Yep. Another strong run by Jeebley, and Braden Garrigan racking up the tackles so far today for North Central as well. That's his 6th.
I really like the kind of Statue of Liberty look of that play, too. Very inventive, creative offense, and I do like the hurry up.
Again, it's the construction of Colin Dooling, who is in just his 2nd season here at Bethel, was previously the offensive coordinator at Barry, where in his final year there, they had the 3rd highest scoring offense in the country.
There you go.
So him and Cooper Drews, the quarterback, now both in their 2nd season of working together. And an offense that Coach Mack told us has just been a lot more comfortable this season, and they've given Cooper a lot of responsibility. 3rd and 1. Drews, QB keeper, right up the middle.
It's close. I think they're going to give it to him.
It's a timeout either way, I would think. He does have the first down. And are they going to burn the timeout? No, they'll hold it for now. 1st and 10 at the 18, 35 seconds. Drews to throw, Drews in trouble. Drews escapes, and he's just booking it for the sideline and gets there. Good awareness by Cooper Drews just to get to the boundary. And
his pocket presence and poise and where he needs to be is excellent. Very smart quarterback.
9 rushing touchdowns for him this season, but 3 of them came in the round of 32 against Co. Drews to throw, space at the middle, throws it late, and that ball is almost intercepted.
Should have been picked.
Kyler Green got 2 hands on it, and I think he was hoping there would be somebody behind him waiting for that football. Green in the right space, though, to get in the passing lane, and Drews can breathe a sigh of relief. Another one, 2nd time I've said this today, that on a warmer day is maybe picked.
Right.
Each quarterback has now gotten away with one of those. Drews' quick throw was in big trouble as Ethan Groark had that lined up and was thrown to the ground by
I think Groark was interfered with. I think that should have been OPI. He got chucked.
That should be offensive pass interference. We've seen the refs let Bethel do this outside blocking before the ball is thrown stuff all day today. And feels you're not going to mess with it.
Timeout. Bethel.
And Bethel,
their
with the
2nd of the
clock
half.
stopped, are going to take a timeout here.
They've still got 1 left. There's 20 seconds left on the clock. They want to dial up something. I
They have
fully
the field goal unit out there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're going to throw it to Rundell here.
They're at the 14-yard line, which means this would be a 27-yard field goal.
I mean, they're literally icing their own kicker doing this. I just don't see them calling timeout and then kicking again.
And they're going to send the offense back out on the field. Biggest play of the game upcoming here.
Watch Rundell. Keep your eyes peeled.
Number 5 is in the slot, where he's being watched by Ethan Groark. Cardinals have everybody else in the box here, and they'll respond with a timeout of their own. There was some confusion there. And I think I saw Ethan Groark pointing out that him and Jamar Daniel being alone out there in coverage might not have been where they wanted to be. But we see the Cardinals do the same thing with Thomas Skoke. Now you put him in the slot, hoping to get a more favorable matchup. Ethan Groark, though, no slouch in coverage.
No, not by any stretch. You see, if you look at the back of the helmets there is a 2nd helmet sticker. There's a JT there.
Yeah, you can see that purple ribbon was added for Jeff Thorne early in the season, and now you've got the JT accompanying the Alcarius sticker. And there's another one on there, MD. You think of who that would be for?
I'm trying to think. Apologies.
We're going to check on that at halftime. For now, it is 4th down and 6 for Bethel. 4 wide receivers all run to the near side. And then 3 of them run back. More motion. Drews is under pressure, hit as he throws, and Rundell makes the catch. But is he at the first down marker?
I think he's. Wait, what's happening?
And then he flipped it to the lineman, and he's in the end zone.
Holy smokes. His forward progress wasn't stopped?
I was totally fooled by this. The right tackle, Tristan Cantu, has the touchdown. We're going to have to see a replay to even know what happened.
Yeah, I thought his forward progress was stopped. They were letting up, and then he flipped it to the lineman who ran it in, and they're counting it.
I thought, my question was, were they
on
going
the field, the touchdown.
Were they going to mark him short or not, because the official on the far side had given him a really good spot.
Right.
I thought he was short. Doesn't matter. The ball's in the end zone.
Timeout. North Central.
North Central has
their
called
third
a
and final timeout of the half.
And I think Brad Spencer is making the point that the official on the far side might have put his hands above his head.
Yeah, let's take a look and see here.
So the pass is going to be completed. Great play.
Uh-huh.
Does the official blow his whistle on the far side of the field? Excuse me, it's number 73. That's Jaeger Ash, the center. Let's watch this again.
I don't know, his forward progress was absolutely stopped.
And was there a whistle is really the biggest question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch here. Rundell is going down, and Ash comes over and just takes the football. I don't know how. Yeah, you saw there was a referee waving his hands above his head.
Yep.
And now they want to review this, but the replay tent is a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Challenging the ruling on the field.
So North Central has thrown a challenge flag here, and they didn't specify, the referee, what is being challenged. Again, if you look at the top of your picture, you'll see that referee waving. Ash has the football. Credit to Jaeger Ash, though, in maybe a game-saving play, being like, hey, give me that.
I know, that's every lineman's dream there. Wow, amazing that he got that ball away, too, as he was getting hit.
That ball is, that forward progress is stopped. And again, though, the question that I'm curious if they'll have the audio for.
Right, see if a whistle is blown.
If there's a whistle blown. Now, we should also note that for these reviews, they are not using our cameras.
No.
There are 4 huddle cameras stationed at each side of the stadium that feed to the replay booth. So we do not know what kind of views the referees have. The fact of the matter is they could have better angles than we do, or they could have worse angles than we do, depending on where the ball is.
Yeah, and really I think a lot of it too depends on the audio. If that whistle was blown, the play's dead.
That's the biggest thing, because then you have, forward progress being stopped is a judgment call, and they could rule that his forward progress was stopped and the play is over anyway.
Mm-hmm.
However, the whistle is the thing that is the most black and white measurement here. And if they can't tell if there was a whistle or not, this is likely to stand.
Yeah, I think that it's a very tough overturn, but we'll see.
But what a job by Bethel. They get down the field here late in this second quarter, and as of right now, it looks like they might have tied the football game. The other question is here, does Ash take this ball, or
was
is this
it
lateral
thrown
forward?
Yeah.
Because if this is a handoff, that's fine. But if this ball is lateraled forward by Rundell, that's an illegal play. So let's note here where Rundell is when Ash comes over. And Rundell
is in front of him.
If he flips that ball forward.
Yeah, and I can't quite tell because Rundell's back is in the way.
Yeah, this ball cannot go through the air forward. There's a lot of stuff here for the referees to be considering.
Mm-hmm.
I don't envy them having to make heads or tails of this situation.
I don't think he took it. I think it was thrown to him. I don't think he was close enough to take it.
That's the odd thing. They're not standing next to each other when Ash is suddenly running away with the football, and you get a look there at the condition of the replay booth.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. It's rough.
It at least stayed in one piece during that blizzard. It just kept getting blown away.
Right, yeah, it was tumbling like a tumbleweed.
And the Jeopardy music has been queued up now by someone in the booth to our right. See athletic director there, Jim Miller. And this is a play,
people we cramming in here.
This is a play worth, looks like I think we have some technical issues because a bunch of people who
Yeah.
aren't referees just went into that tent.
We've got it here. You want to see it?
I mean,
Throw it up on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, I mean, we can, or heck, if you're really going to take the time to do this, we got 11 seconds till the half. Have them make, they could just come up here. That was a North Central coach who just stuck his head in there to try to help out.
Maybe he's got some AV background.
Yeah, again, though.
I fear, though, if they can't get this thing up and running, that they may just say it is what it is, and the ruling on the field stands.
Again, if they want to take a walk up here and take a look at the view we have, or we can, to your point, put it on the Jumbotron for them. Those are options as well, although technically I don't think that's in the rule book.
I don't know.
The North Central...
They have used our feet in the past, have they not?
Yes.
So it's got to be in the rule book then, unless it was amended this year, but I don't think so.
Wasn't that a targeting situation at a half where they came up here and took a look?
Yeah, but, I mean, our replay is our replay.
Bethel fans are waiting in anticipation as well out there on the far side, and this is just more time everybody has to stand in the cold.
Yeah, everybody's trying to stay warm here.
Referee's out of the tent.
What do you got for us, Stripes?
The ruling on the field is overturned. There was forward progress at the 8-yard line. It'll be first down Bethel at the 8-yard line, and the clock will start on my signal.
Oh, so they gave him the first.
So, yeah, again, that mark was really generous.
Yeah.
If you watch the replay, I thought he was a yard short. The official, the guy we saw put his whistle to his lips, had the mark. He had a mark for first down yardage. So watching the left side of your picture, you're going to see an official come in here, and the mark is there right at the 8-yard line where the first down marker is. So that is where Bethel will get the ball. North Central has burned a timeout. They are out of them because they burned a timeout in order to get that challenged. Bethel have one if they wanted to use it here rather than having the clock immediately run on the referee's whistle.
Keep your eye on Rundell.
And now Mike McElroy is getting an explanation from an official, not the referee though, which honestly more than anything might just be a really good stalling tactic to make sure your offense
The
is
game
ready.
clock to 13.8 seconds.
So the clock will be moved 2 seconds. And Mike McElroy wants to talk personally with the referee, and we'll see if he is given that opportunity. The referees are still talking, and Cooper Drews is like, let's get on with this thing.
Yep. Chilly out here.
And Drews doesn't seem to be aware that this play isn't going anywhere.
Got to start the play clock. Wait for him to blow it in, buddy.
Coaches are still on the field here. Mike McElroy is still not satisfied with the explanation he's getting.
Run the clock.
First and goal at the 8. Clock should run, and it does. Drews to throw to the end zone. Rundell is just short.
Yep, they're running that timeout. Yep.
Oh, we knew where the ball was going, and it found its way there anyway.
Bethel, their third and final timeout of the half.
So here we go. Second and goal from the 1, 7 seconds left, and nobody has any timeouts.
You know, and we've talked about winning that middle 8 minutes of the ball game here, and this 4 minutes certainly qualifies as the front half of that.
Please reset the game clock to 8.1 seconds.
Goodness gracious.
Now, if you're Bethel, what do you do here? Do you go back to one of those inside gives that have been really productive, or do you have to throw the football in case there's nothing there and you can throw it away and go for third down?
I say you throw first and then run. See if you can find Rundell. If you can't.
The scoreboard still says that Bethel have 13 points.
Yeah, they'll fix that. There we go.
That has been updated to the cheers of some in the crowd who had also noticed. Can't imagine there's any thought to field goals here, right?
No, I wouldn't. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Could. See what happens here on this play.
Big decision here to make for offensive coordinator Colin Dooling. Cooper Drews and the Bethel offense. Drews is really isolated here. This is reading like a QB keeper, and we have whistles for a North Central timeout that the scoreboard
Timeout.
they do have one.
North Central.
I thought they'd only
Their
called
third
two.
and final
Yeah.
timeout of
So
the
North
half.
Central will burn their final timeout. They burned their second timeout to get the challenge in.
Mm-hmm.
8 seconds left in the half. Cardinals 14, Royals 7. Bethel get the ball to start the second half.
Correct.
They have an opportunity here, Bethel.
Huge opportunity.
To have the lead in this game before North Central's offense sees the ball again.
Mm-hmm.
Last week here at North Central, Grant, we saw UW La Crosse put up a really good fight against the Cardinals. There are some metrics, and I notably think about, seeing as we are on ESPN Plus here today, you have the SP Plus metric that's been developed that says that Bethel are the #2 Division III football team in the country. Now, they trail North Central a lot in that statistic. As Cooper Drews takes the ball and goes up the middle. Did he get there?
No, he's short. He's short. They're marking him short.
He didn't get it.
The clock's running, and that's the end of the half.
And the clock runs out, and there is the danger of that call. The coaches are furious for Bethel. Drews
Ruling on the
was
field
stopped.
is he was short of the goal line. That's halftime.
Yeah, and he was short. That's accurate. He extended the ball after he was already on the ground.
Right, yeah, you saw his shoulder hits here short. If you watch right there, yeah.
Yeah, his butt's on the ground.
And when his butt hits the ground, he has not fallen backwards yet. And by the time he falls backwards, that ball does get to the goal line, but it doesn't get there first. And Mike McElroy is furious with the officials. I don't know if this is more about that call or more about the overturned touchdown earlier, given that he didn't get the opportunity to speak with the referee. But this is a situation where the Bethel coaches got to be careful.
Yes.
Because there's an extended conversation happening here down on the field. And again, we don't.
I mean, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, we don't know the content of these conversations and exactly what those are about. But needless to say, Grant, a frustrating end of the half for the Bethel Royals, who were so close, even there at the end, to tying this football game. They've got to regroup again. They'll get the ball first in the second half and have a chance to drive again and maybe tie this game up.
Yeah, absolutely. I would, if I were them, run the football. They've had great success doing that. And then, obviously pick and choose your spots to look for Rundell. But they've got the offense humming.
Yeah, it's been a really competitive football game. It's the best game so far of the day here in the National Division III quarterfinals. This one in Naperville, where the North Central Cardinals lead the Bethel Royals 14-7, and we will take a break for halftime. Stay with us. You are watching the NCAA Division III Football Championships on ESPN. Welcome back to Naperville as we get set for the second half here between the Cardinals and the Royals. Alex Campbell and Grant Sabo with you here on ESPN Plus. Thank you for joining us. We welcome our viewers who are just watching either Johns Hopkins win over Susquehanna or John Carroll's win over Barry. Those two games both going final while we were away at halftime as Aiden Ellison gets the second half underway with this deep kick all the way down, and it's fumbled at the 2. Getting back onto it are Bethel, but they're brought down all the way back at the 9, and a big hit by Lucas Rossini on special teams to bring down Ian Berkman on the return.
Yeah, Rossini's been excellent on special teams all year long. Worked his way actually into a little bit of playing time there. We actually have a Royal who's hurt.
And we have a player down hurt.
Due to an injury.
And I think it might be the return man, Berkman. No, it's number 25. That's Eli McCown, defensive back. And once the Bethel offense goes to work, Grant, they'll have to shake off that last drive where it looked for a moment like they might have a touchdown, but after review, a run by their center on a lateral was overturned for forward progress on a 4th down, and then quarterback Cooper Drews was stuffed at the goal line on the final play of the half. But they can kind of forget about all of that if they manage to get a touchdown on this drive and tie this game up at 14.
It's going to be a tall order. They got 91 to go.
Eli McCown was injured on the play.
So being helped to the sideline is McCown, being walked there by a member of the training staff as well as Jackson Braun. And the referee's saying, hey, slow your roll, guys. Your teammate is still getting off the field, as much as we know that you guys like to go 100 miles an hour on offense. So 1st and 10 at their own 10 for Cooper Drews and the Royal offense. Tay Mans begins the drive as the tailback. And the standard motion pre-snap. Drews to throw, throwing it out to the far side, and breaking that ball up was Mari Roby. First time we've called his name today, but he read that well on the pass intended for Stoska.
Yeah, textbook pass break up there.
Roby, he of the 2 interceptions last week, undeniably the player of that game. 2nd and 10. We saw Bethel try to throw downfield a couple times early. Those balls were both underthrown. The only passes we've really seen since have all been 5 yards or shorter. Drews, the handoff to Mans. And Tay Mans got through the first level and then was met by Kyler Green.
Yeah, that was that Statue of Liberty type play that we saw late in the second half there that they ran to pretty great effect.
3rd and 8.
Their second quarter, I should say.
Messages coming in from the sideline. Two out of 8 on 3rd down are the Royals. Ball to the near side. Rundell bobbled and dropped it.
Wow, he should have caught that football. Really nice route. He settled down, was able to kind of shake off the DB, and they just couldn't connect on that one.
We'll see on the replay. Did Jamar Daniel get a piece of this football?
Did he?
He might have.
I can't tell from that angle.
Either way, we'll see here again. It looked like a catch Rundell should have made.
Especially being who he is.
J.P. Sullivan, another quarterback hurry.
Yeah, I think he did get a hand in there.
Jamar Daniel gets a
wow.
That ball, and that was just enough. On the punt is Nowaski. Nowaski pressured, got it away, and it didn't go far. Look out. That ball is going to roll out of bounds at the Bethel 40, and that is the perfect start to the second half for the Cardinals, and the basically worst thing that could have happened if you were Bethel.
Yeah, well, next to the worst thing, you know, he could have had a turnover, I guess.
Correct.
But excellent starting field position for the Cardinals, starting in plus territory on this drive.
And a chance now to make this a 2-score ball game. Heck, they only need to gain about 10 yards to be in range for Aiden Ellison.
I'm sure they're not thinking field goal right now.
They never are, this offense. First and 10 for the Cardinals. Donovan McNeil is the running back next to Garrett Wilson. McNeil the carry and is just stood up. Ran first into Jake Borman and a group of other white shirts for no gain.
Yeah, the hole was a little bit outside, and I don't know what happened in the interior, but he ended up getting bottled up in there.
It's Borman's 7th tackle of the game. 2nd and 10. Grant McAtee split out to the bottom of your picture. Wilson, play action. Far side has a wide open Jack Rummel, and he tiptoes along the sideline, gets 6 or 7. It's a 7-yard gain officially. 3rd down and 3 upcoming for the Cardinals, who are 4 out of 8 on 3rd down today.
Yeah, look for this to be 4-down territory as well.
If you weren't with us in the first half, Aiden Ellison attempted a 52-yard field goal that was online, but fell just short of the crossbar.
Tough to kick in the sub-zero temps here.
Kickoff temperature today was 10 degrees. Wind chill is certainly below 0. 3rd and 3. Play action.
He's got him. He's got him. Oh, my God.
Man wide open. It's not going to matter. Garrett's going to get the first down here with a whole lot of ease. Still going, and then lowers the shoulder as he crosses the 10-yard line.
Boy, if he wanted to,
Dawson
Trebolo was wide open running down the middle of the field. That would have been a touchdown.
I don't believe Trebolo has ever caught a pass. But in the end, Garrett's like, okay.
Watch him lower the boom, too.
I'll just take all this free space you decided to give me. As it was Nick Collier on the other end of that. McNeil bouncing to the near side, shifting inside. McNeil's in the end zone, but there is a flag down. This one is almost certainly coming back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a hold. It's a hold. Yeah, it's going to come back on a hold.
Players know it. The fans know it.
Yep.
Celebrations were brief.
Holding, offense number 72, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brock Nunez, the left guard, called for the hold. That's a 10-yard penalty. He negates the touchdown. Is still a nice run by
Very
Donovan
nice piece
McNeil.
of running, yeah.
But that hold happened really early in the play. And maybe the left guard committing a holding penalty had something to do with the running back being able to get around the left edge so easily. First and goal from the 19. And they'll hand it off again. Same play. McNeil stays in bounds and then is pushed out. They'll mark him at the
5.
Yeah, they'll mark him at the 5-yard line. Really nice job by Donovan McNeil as he picks up 14 on that run.
Yeah, it did look like the exact same play.
McNeil, the sophomore out of Waukegan, Illinois, and Warren Township High School. 2nd and goal as Jordan Williams checks in. Williams the carry, up the middle, end zone, touchdown.
Boy, it is Jordan Williams' time. Looking excellent all day today. Gets the reward there. Really nice run. Great blocking up front.
Williams, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. He comes up big here in the national quarterfinal, and the Cardinals take a 2-score lead.
Yeah, and that was exactly what we wanted to see. Some nice passes peppered in, but really a nice steady diet of the ground game there, getting them to the promised land.
McNeil and Williams both averaging over. Ellison on for the extra point. Kick is up, kick is good. 11:59 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cardinals 21, Royals 7.
Boy, as great a start to the 2nd half as the Cardinals could have asked for. Nice piece of running there.
Just really strong running by Jordan Williams, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida. And he'll be around next year. Again, he won't be the guy at the top of the depth chart then either. Donovan McNeil and Zeb Rashid both returning also, but that's a real strong running back room.
Well, we're seeing him over Rashid today, and we're seeing why. He looks great.
Absolutely. Again, Sean Allen, if you joined us late, not dressed today due to injury. Don't know the specific nature of that. So
yeah, Coach Spencer on our call yesterday was very unspecific.
Can't guess whether or not there's a chance of him being active for next week. There's no number 1s dressed today for the Cardinals, as Jerron Williams, who's been in and out of the lineup all season, banged up, is not dressed today either. And so now it's do or die time for the Bethel Royals. They have hung in this game the entire time. This is the first 2-score lead, though, that either team has held And Bethel, again, that great drive at the end of the first half that ended up stuffed at the goal line. They had a good drive in the first quarter that ended on a Cooper Drews fumble.
When the North Central sideline's pumped up too, they're all bouncing around and dancing.
Maybe they're pumped up.
Maybe they're trying to stay warm.
Maybe they're just staying warm.
It's very possible.
Column
It's in
A,
time to the
column
music,
B.
though, yeah.
The Cardinals scoring drive, 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go, just 40 yards after the short punt by Bethel, topped off by that Jordan Williams touchdown run. Deep kick here by Ellison, and taking no chances this time is Riley Gritz. He calls for a fair catch. Of course, the one remaining game today in the national quarterfinals yet to kick off will concern the Wheaton Thunder of the CCIW, conference foes of the Cardinals. They're up in River Falls, Wisconsin today.
Not just conference foes, arch rivals.
Where the high is 0.
High of 0.
What a day it could be for the CCIW if they're able to get 2 teams into the national semifinals. Run right up the middle on first down, and just trying to shake through is Jeebly. He'll pick up 4 yards on that effort. I have to assume that would be a first, correct, for the conference?
Yes, that would be a first.
I've never had.
I think there was what was the year that I can't remember if it was the quarters or the semis where the Wheaton player took his helmet off.
Throw to the near side. Vibrock makes the catch, and I think he's got a first down. He does as he ducks out of bounds. Yeah, the CCIW has had kind of very well-defined eras, going from the Augustana era to the Wheaton era to the North Central era.
Although Wheaton's always been there through all of it.
Correct. Cardinals patient on this one, and there's an interesting strategy as Roby makes the tackle. Is the better play to simply not engage with the blocking receiver at all and wait for the other receiver to make the catch?
Yeah, that is interesting, and they didn't try to jump it either.
And then you've got a 2-on-1 against the blocker, so someone's free.
Right.
2nd and 6. Drews is in trouble. Stumbles, stays on his
a bit of a hold
feet,
there,
and just spikes it into the ground. Danny Nuccio wants a
tackled.
flag.
Yeah, he should get one if they're going to call it on that run play.
Nuccio engaged there with Jeebly, the running back. 3rd and 7, we'll call it. 2 out of 9 on the day. Bethel on 3rd down. This in a season where they were one of the best in the country at it. They'll split almost everybody wide to the near side. Jeebly flares to the left. Drews, that's batted up in the air by Bobby Medina and incomplete.
Wow. Way to get the hand up there.
Braden Garrigan dove onto the turf, hoping he was gonna get a chance, I should say, at an interception. Great awareness, though, by Medina. And, oh no, excuse me. Garrigan was thrown to the ground by his own teammate.
Yeah, he just got chucked. But anyway, they got to punt this.
Braden, not the biggest guy. He's listed as 183 pounds, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's not quite that.
Slightly inflated.
All 5'8" of the Cardinals safety. Nowaski on the punt again. He'll be hoping for better than his last effort. And this one will roll and just have some backspin. It stops at the 40-yard line of North Central. And again, good field position for the Cardinals offense. And for the Cardinals fans tuning in, sorry to keep beating this dead horse, but the Cardinals in the 3rd quarter this season are just
stellar.
Unbelievable.
Yep, yeah.
Obviously, they're a great team all year. They're 12-0 coming into today. You don't do that without being really solid in all 4 quarters, but the 3rd quarter is where they really pull away from opponents.
Yeah, tend to shine.
Can't believe we've gotten to this point. I think I might have mentioned it in the open, but we haven't mentioned it since. These are the last 2 undefeated teams remaining in Division III entering the weekend.
Correct.
Both 12-0. It's Garrett Wilson, play action. Thomas Skokna makes the catch after a gain of 6. It's only his 2nd reception of the day. He's been quiet.
Yeah, they bottled them up nicely. I'm really impressed with the Bethel secondary.
Kind of expected that coming into today, especially the likes of Williams and Collier at the safety positions. 2nd and 5. McNeil cutting back infield. McNeil, good footwork, good push, first down.
Wow, another effort run from him, and that's what he does. He pushes the pile. You know, if you try to put one guy on him, he's picking up 3 more yards.
Give Cortez Jones credit for the tackle, I guess, to push McNeil forward at the end of this. Putting the tackle in right tackle. McNeil up the middle. 5 more.
Yeah, they're just going to get a steady diet of this. And it doesn't seem like he's got the pitch count today that he had last week.
Jordan Williams, though, taking some of that pressure off anyway with how good he's played today.
Yeah, he looks great.
2nd and 4. Wilson will throw. All the time in the world, I was trying to say, as he misses Grant McAtee. That's 3 times today we've seen Garrett Wilson just miss his target.
Yeah, he's been off, and that's very uncharacteristic coming in today, leading all of Division III in efficiency.
Again, you've got to wonder if the cold is the primary culprit for that.
It's certainly a factor he's not dealt with yet.
3rd and 4 for the Cardinals. Back to the ground game. Williams up the middle. Jordan Williams for a first down.
He's finding some holes, too.
Cardinals, of course, do have a very capable second quarterback in Demir Asheru, who got credited with 2 completions last week for pitching the ball 6 inches in front of him on what were basically handoffs. First down. Jordan Williams again, good burst. Williams cutting up field, and he'll gain 6.
You see a piece of somebody's helmet chip off?
So I thought it was a flag because something went flying. Mouth guard?
Mouth guard, maybe.
Helmet?
So one of the Bethel players just picked it up and put it in his pocket.
2nd and 3. Cardinals giving Bethel a taste of their own medicine here with some tempo. Williams again. Williams first down.
Let him cook. Cardinals getting it done on the ground.
And again, going at a pace that is rare for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, usually they take all of that play clock.
First down for the Cardinals. Wilson back to pass, stepping up. Wilson will scramble. Jack Rummel, very well done, sir, to keep your hands very far away from any contact and be a blocker as Wilson picks up 9.
Yeah, really smart, as there's 0 chance you get a flag thrown on you for anything here. Cortez Jones got away a little bit of a hold there.
Of course, worth saying that Cortez Jones is far from the first player to get away with a little bit of a hold today. Williams tries to go right tackle and is bottled up at the line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as McNeil checks back in along with Isaac Banker, the tight end. Cardinals 6 out of 10 on 3rd down. Banker lined up on the left end of the line. McNeil is the running back. McNeil gets the ball, and he's met after a gain of 1. He's short.
Yeah, just short.
And
see if they take the points here.
Decision time for the Cardinals. This is definitely in range. Instead, here come Will Diamond and Dawson Trebolo in place of Rummel and Skokna. We have seen the Cardinals pick up a first down via penalty in this game in a situation like this. They got all the big boys out there right now. Quickly to the line. Wilson under center. Wilson turns, gives. McNeil up the middle, falls forward for a first down on what I am fairly certain is the first offensive snap under center that wasn't a kneel of the season.
Yep, I was going to say it if you didn't. I'm pretty sure that was it. I don't think I've seen one yet so far. But, you know, when you get this deep in the playoffs and you're playing a quality team like Bethel, you got to kind of dust some things off and try some new stuff.
McNeil and Williams get a breather as Zeb Rashid checks into the game. 1st and 10 at the 13. Wilson keeps it. Might regret that decision. No, we got away! Garrett Wilson lowers the shoulder and is inside the 5.
Oh, wow. I thought he was bottled up, and he just happened to find that little valve out to the right. He was able to escape, yeah, and pick it up. Nice job by Rashid picking up that guy as he came through.
Devin Williams on the tackle. And there's some confusion here. Is this 1st and goal or 2nd and short?
1st and goal.
1st and goal.
He picked up the first by a few yards.
1st and goal for the Cardinals and a chance to really pull away here in the third quarter. Rashid up the middle for a touchdown.
Yep, straight ahead. Zeb Rashid style.
Each running back has at least one today, and the ground game has the Cardinals with a 3-touchdown lead.
Yeah, exactly what we wanted to see here, and I'm sure they talked about it at halftime too, but they're having a lot of success running the football against Bethel. Keeps the ball out of their offense's hands, and it results in touchdowns.
Zeb Rashid gets the score. His second touchdown of the postseason. 4th of the year as Ellison is on for the extra point. His kick is up, good. 5:51 to go in the third quarter. Cardinals 28, Royals 7, and Grant, it feels like the worm has very much turned here in Naperville.
Yeah, especially we'll see what the defense does here, but unless Bethel can score a touchdown on this possession, I feel like their chances are slipping pretty good, especially if North Central is able to keep up these sustained drives.
You could argue right now the play of the game by a Cardinal is Danny Nuccio getting the tackle on Cooper Drews at the goal line as time expired in the second quarter in a moment that could have made this a 14-14 ball game. Instead, we went to the half at 14-7. Each team has had the ball twice here in the third quarter. One of those teams has punted twice. The other has 2 touchdowns.
See what kind of kick we get from Edelson here.
Well, the last 2 have been bobbled and then covered up at their own 9 in the end, and then a fair catch. So
yeah, they kind of just muff it.
You've seen evidence now, if you're the Cardinals, that if you kick this deep, it's probably getting fair caught.
Yes.
And again, really capable returners on this team. Ellison going for the all-black outfit under the jersey today.
Looks sharp, I like it.
Did hear a great innovation last week. John Carroll's quarterback last week at Mount Union wore a wetsuit under his football uniform. Ellison will play this a bit shorter, and it will be returned. No, nope. Grits wait for a fair catch that I did not see.
I missed it too. He must have done it way early.
It's like, nope, I'm not even thinking about this.
Yeah, just take it at the 25.
So they'll take it at the 25. And Bethel, they've had a couple really good-looking drives today. They've had several others that have never gotten going. They need one of the former variety here. Cooper Drews empties the backfield. Drews on the day, 15 of 26 for just 86 yards and a touchdown. Drews, QB keeper on first down. Eventually runs into Matt Janiak after he picked up 3 yards.
Nice spot on that.
And we've got some afters.
Not enough to catch the officials' attention, though.
Hasn't been a really chippy game by any degree, although maybe this is just one of those days everybody's so darn cold, there's not the extra energy for it. 2nd and 7. Up the middle goes Mans. Finds a bit of a seam, and guess who? Janiak is there again. It'll be 3rd down and 3 after a gain of 4. J.P. Sullivan in on the stop as well. Here's the tempo from Bethel, 3rd and 3. Drews to throw. Under pressure, Drews is in trouble, and down he goes.
Wow, that was a massive 3rd down for the Cardinals defense there.
First sack of the day for the Cardinals. J.P. Sullivan, the All-Region Defensive Player of the Year, makes the huge stop.
Incredible. I mean, there was a swarm there, too.
All 4 of the guys who came for the Cardinals got home.
Maverick Ole got held pretty good, too, or I think he would have beat Sullivan to the punch.
That elite defensive line coming up big. We haven't seen Cooper Drews drop back to throw much today or spend any time in the pocket, and that's why. And now this fair catch, this should be a 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty, right.
Because this is the kicking leg that David Ballard III of Nowoski ran into. He got a little eager here, so we're going to do this again, I assume.
It's unfortunate because we have really good field position here for the Cardinals.
Bethel's guys are all walking off, and the offense is coming back on the field.
Shouldn't be.
Huh?
Running into the kicker on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Yeah, there we go.
And I think Bethel just realized that it was not the penalty they thought they were getting.
Yeah, they thought they were going to get a roughing. Difference, of course, for those listening at home, running into the kicker is when you hit the kicking leg. Roughing the kicker is when you hit the plant leg.
Which is, yeah, it's basically just a difference in danger to the kicker.
Correct. Yep.
There's only so much damage you can do by swatting a guy's foot. You, though, can see some really nasty injuries, though, if a guy's plant leg is taken out from under him.
Yeah, with all his weight on it.
Haven't mentioned today, but the Cardinals have blocked 3 punts this season. 2 of them were by Jalen Johnson, on which he scored touchdowns. So it's 4th and 7 instead, but the punt formation remains for Bethel. And Miles Walton stands at his own 42. Cardinals don't go for it. Punt gets caught up in the wind, and Walton makes the fair catch at the 40.
Still good field position.
4:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and again, this is an opportunity for the Cardinals to put up one of those silly-looking numbers in the box score, where you say, oh, this game was really competitive, and then, oh, dear Lord, what happened
what happened in the third quarter?
And if that is what happens on this drive, I mean, Bethel would be far from the first team who have just been absolutely bludgeoned by the Cardinals offense in a 3rd frame this year. Talk about making adjustments at halftime. There might be nobody better than Eric Studham, the offensive coordinator of North Central. 1st and 10 at their own 40. And the carry for McNeil, working his way through some traffic, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Tackle made on the play by number 96. That's Will Jessup.
Yeah, great penetration by the Bethel defensive line. They're very strong.
Although I should note right now, neither of Whiting or Conant, the 2 guys who were questionable coming into the game, are on the field. Wilson all day. Skokna was wide open for a gain of not many. Garrett Wilson will run for a 1st down.
Boy, he has been dangerous scrambling lately. And he, I mean, what? First of all, let's talk about the Bethel secondary, because Wilson, he had time to go through his reads 3 times before he was forced off the spot here by 43 coming around the edge. And then he just takes off and gets it done himself.
It's been really notable. Bethel's defensive line has had a tough day, and their secondary, those played very well. McNeil stretches things to the far side and picks up 2 or 3. Another tackle for Devin Williams. It's his 12th. Braun leads all players. Jackson Braun with 13 tackles. These Bethel players on the season, they put up some crazy tackle numbers because their offense doesn't have the ball very long. 2nd and 8. Wilson again all day, and he delivers to Rummel for a 1st down.
Rummel's having himself a little bit of a day today. Is it his 3rd or 4th?
That's his 4th catch of the game. Make that his 30th of the season. He's also eclipsed his total from last year today. He had 28 receptions on the season last year. I'm sure his brother Nick is around here somewhere.
Great family.
Wilson again with time. Wilson again a strike, and again it's Jack Rummel out of bounds at the 30. Or call it the 32.
Must have stepped out.
And this is good confidence for Garrett Wilson in a game where, as we've mentioned, he's had a few poor throws. Just a few darts on this drive. Under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Hand's probably numb at this point, so.
Let her rip. Williams squeaks through the line and lunges forward for a gain of 1.5, maybe 2. That brings up 3rd down. Caleb Taylor made the tackle.
We're in 4-down territory here again.
McNeil checks in for Williams as Rummel, McAtee, and Skokna all go to the right of the line. Isaac Banker, the tight end, also on the right side of the formation. 3rd and 2. McNeil, patient, 1st down. Eventually wrapped up on the play by Nick Collier, but another strong run by number 4.
Boy, and that's really the difference between McNeil last year as a freshman and this year as a sophomore. He was very patient and allowed that whole thing to develop. Once he saw his hole and saw the best opportunity he had to gain some yardage, then he committed and went, full out and bowling balled himself through like we're used to seeing him do. But it's really cool to see him evolve as a back.
McNeil now 140 yards on 23 carries, 2 touchdowns. Timeout on the field.
Garrett Wilson's frustrated about something.
North Central burned their first of the second half.
Oh, what's the flag?
Oh, so wait a minute here. Cortez Jones is out there by himself.
So you're just having a chat with 43. He just realized everybody was huddling up.
Him and Abdallah Abed.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 men in the formation, 5-yard penalty, it's first down.
And that explains the frustration of Garrett Wilson.
I'm surprised them taking the timeout, though, doesn't negate that. I guess I don't know the rule on it well enough to speak to it, but...
Or were they charged to timeout at all?
Well, I mean, they're meeting on the field, so they kind of have to be.
Referees are telling them to hurry up, so are they going to get this timeout back? Oh, the play clock's not running.
No, I think that was a legitimate timeout. Like I said, I'm surprised that they were... Well, whatever. Like I said, I don't know the rule well enough to speak on it.
Jim Godo, the PA announcer, informs the referee that his mic was on. 1st and 15. Play action. Wilson going long, looking for Rummel. He overthrew him.
Yeah, Rummel was open, but just a little bit too much mustard on the football there.
That'll bring up 2nd and 15, but the clock stopped 25.6 on the stadium scoreboard. 26.1 on your screen. Don't imagine that half-second difference will make much of one, as Pieper and Johnson both check in at wide receiver. Jordan Williams is the running back. Jordan Williams on the carry. Cuts up field, excuse me. Only gains 3.
Yeah, when you're behind the sticks like that and you throw on first down, it's kind of hard to then run the football through. That's the end of the quarter.
That's going to be the end of the quarter, as the third will flip to the
That's
fourth.
the end
and North
of the third
Central
quarter.
put 14 points on the board in the third, don't allow any. And the defending national champions, looking to return to the semifinals, lead 28-7 over Bethel.
Yeah, just a perfect frame for them. Looking great on offense, getting it done, especially on the ground, and defensively tightening things up and not really allowing Bethel to get anything going.
They are underway in River Falls, where River Falls have scored on their opening drive of the game. They lead the Wheaton Thunder 7-0 early in the first.
Top Gun offense doing its thing up there. There's no odds on it, but if there were, I would say that Blaha is probably the odds-on favorite for the Gallardi.
Would have to think so.
With the year that he's had.
I forget, will we learn the finalists for that this week or next?
I don't know. I think it's this week. I think is it tomorrow?
I think it's this week, because there was saw an update about fan voting the other day.
Yeah, there's fan voting going on right now for the semifinalists.
3rd and long, longest third down of the day for the Cardinals. It's a screen to McNeil. McNeil looking for his blockers, found a few of them. Look at this from Donovan McNeil. He's still going all the way down inside the 5.
Wow, we haven't seen a screen all day from either team. And there were several run last week by Bethel. None this week. I think they maybe just don't want to toy with that Cardinal defensive line, but this is run really well. Couple of blown blocks there, and McNeil, it doesn't matter. He just kind of scoots around him and uses his hips to get what he can.
Jack Rummel ended up being the downfield blocker, created some space there, and again, just the way that Donovan McNeil is capable of changing direction, always so impressive. 1st and goal from the 4. McNeil looking for touchdown number 3 of the day. He won't get it here. Gained a yard or 2. And that gets the clock rolling. Again, the winner of this game will face John Carroll.
Will host.
Will host John Carroll.
Yep, whoever wins this will host.
Next weekend. Meanwhile, Wheaton and River Falls, we don't know that exact situation. We know Wheaton would travel to Johns Hopkins. River Falls will have to check. What we don't have to check is that Donovan McNeil has another touchdown. That one, the easiest of the bunch.
Yeah, not really touched there. Great job up front by the Cardinal offensive line. Again, perfectly executed offensive drive. That's the third one we've seen this half, and a lot of running the football.
Cardinals offense is humming in the second half here in Naperville as Donovan McNeil gets in for his third score of the game, his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. We'll have to check if this is his first career 3-score rushing game.
I'm going to doubt it, especially with all of the scoring that went on throughout the course of the season, but maybe.
Aiden Ellison's extra point is up and good. It's 35-7 here early in the fourth quarter as everybody again runs to the heater. Let's take another look at that touchdown run by McNeil.
Yeah, I mean, just nice job up front by the Cardinal offensive line. Big old 54, that's Tyson Kramer getting it done.
So this regular season, McNeil only had 1 2-touchdown game. That was at Carroll. And going back to last year, he only scored 2 touchdowns total. So this is the first career 3 rushing touchdown game for Donovan McNeil.
I'm surprised. Also want to highlight Isaac Banker on that last play. Had a heck of a block too.
Banker, the grad student from Cecil, Wisconsin. A 4-year blocking tight end in this offense. And for a game that was just so competitive in that first half and that you went into halftime feeling pretty strongly that either team could win it, the third quarter and now that first couple plays of the fourth, it just, you know, this is where the #1 team in the country, the defending national champions, showing why they have those titles.
Exactly right.
Let's get a look there at the Bethel return crew. We'll see if they get a chance here to return it. As Aiden Ellison prepares to kick it away. And Ellison will send this deep, hangs up in the wind as Gritz comes up and fields at the 19. I didn't see a wave.
I didn't either, but everybody else did, I guess.
So that is where the Bethel offense will come back out onto the field.
We were blind to it in this particular booth, but the whole rest of the stadium saw it.
.31 to go in the game. As Cooper Drews has David Jeebley in the backfield on 1st and 10. A stack of receivers to the near side. The hand to Jeebley. He got through the arm tackle of J.P. Sullivan and then was brought down by Braden Garrigan.
Yeah, they're going to be on their horse here because they got to make up a lot of ground.
Yeah, they need 4 touchdowns and they need them quickly. Drews, they got to throw downfield at some point. Maverick Oli had the pressure. Maury Roby, a big tackle there on Rundell.
Yeah, Rundell's a little slow to get up too. Able to pick up the first here, but really that's textbook. Watch this. Perfection. Great open field tackle.
Yeah, 4- and 5-yard plays though aren't going to do it right now for
No,
Bethel.
yeah.
Drews, another handoff up the middle. Maverick Oli, Eli Rennick, and Matt Janiak all meet Jeebley after he gains 2. Yeah, the Cardinals are effectively playing with 5 linebackers right now, how far up the safeties are. Drews on the play action, has a man open deep if he can find him. Vbrock is wide open. Can he outrun Roby? He can't. He brings him down at the 11.
Boy, exactly what Bethel needed to do in this situation. The worst thing that could happen for the Cardinals right now. Got behind everybody by a good 10 yards, and only Roby's speed saved the touchdown here. Boy, just lost track of him. Completely blown coverage.
Bethel first and goal at the 10. The handoff up the middle to Jeebly, and he's slung down. As around the came a Cardinal. That was Garrigan again. But to your point, this is the urgency that the Royals have to have right now. Second and goal. This is thrown to the far side and intercepted. Jamar Daniel. That should be that.
Wow. Was not expecting that. They've been kind of sitting back on those things all game long and not really trying to jump that. And here we saw, I mean, maybe they were baiting it. Maybe they were setting it up. I don't know. But that was beautiful. Read it perfectly. Was able to jump the pass. Picked it off. Cardinal football.
Right after the big play they needed to put themselves in scoring position, it's another crucial turnover from Bethel, and Cooper Drews, after fumbling in the first quarter inside the Cardinal 30, throws a pick on the 10-yard line. Jamar Daniel, his second interception of the season. And they had to have that, Grant.
Yeah, absolutely. One sustained drive here will do it.
Asheru hands to Jordan Williams. First we've seen of Demir Asheru today. And I'm trying to see what unit of offensive line is all out there. Still the starters. Demir Asheru, sophomore from Plainfield, Illinois. Ferris State transfer. Plainfield North graduate. Demir on the season, 21 of 23 passing for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns, 35 rushes for 400 yards and 5 TDs. Second down and 8. McAtee, the motion man. Asheru, keeper, has some space, shakes off one tackle and is brought down at the 19. It'll bring up third down and 2.
Frustrated with himself for not picking up that first. Ooh, Williams is hurt.
And Williams hopping off, not putting pressure on that left leg. Don't want to see that.
The running back room just taking some beatings here.
They do have a 5th running back dressed today. That's Galashki Blaze. I should say 4th running back dressed today with Allen not in uniform. Third down and 2. Asheru still out there. He's joined by Zeb Rashid in the backfield. Rashid gets the carry, and Zeb falls forward for a first down.
Yep, he got it.
And we got a little discussion between Cortez Jones and Phil Conant that is broken up by a combination of Isaac Banker and the official. The 2-yard gain is enough to move the sticks. Pieper, Skokna, McAtee all to the right of the formation, with Banker on the right end of the line, Asheru and Rashid in the backfield. Asheru handing to Rashid, big hole, and the ball's out. Ball's on the ground. I'm not sure who has it. Both teams had a shot at it and missed it at first.
North Central, oh no, Bethel's got the football.
Bethel football, big turnover, and a lifeline for the Royals.
Boy, that was absolutely not what North Central needed at that moment.
Marcus Whiting ends up with the football.
The ball was fumbled, recovered by Bethel. First down.
Fumble was forced by Jackson Braun, who forced and recovered a fumble last week against UW Platteville.
Boy, excellent job. They put the helmet right on this football. Watch. Bob. Oh, not even the helmet. He punched it out. That was great. Zeb almost had it back, but not quite. Great job by Bethel.
And so after they needed a touchdown to keep their hopes alive and threw a pick, Bethel are given an extra life here. First and 10 at the Cardinal 30. Quick throw. As making the catch is Terry, he's immediately met by Garrigan, gain of 5. And again, they need more of those passes like that long one to Vibrock.
Well, as long as North Central blows the coverage.
Second and down and 5. Drews toward the end zone. And Mari Roby, did he get himself around enough? He did, knocks it away. Rundell was the intended receiver.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup, Rundell and Roby.
Rundell today has 10 catches, but for just 46 yards.
Yeah, that's why that Vibrock pass was so interesting, because North Central's really done a good job of keeping everything in front of them.
3rd and 5. 4-down territory, of course, for Bethel. Handoff is to Jeebly, and he was dragged back by Sullivan for a gain of just 1.
Yeah, Sullivan just kind of hanging on there by his fingernails, waiting for some of his buddies to show up and help him out. Big 4th down here.
And Bethel rushing as usual. 4th and 4. Drews tries a couple hard counts. No bites. Still 23 on the play clock. .8:30 to go in the game. And whistles.
Timeout, North Central. Their first of the half.
So it is North Central's first timeout of the half.
I thought it was their second.
They, the referees are not giving them a timeout, I guess, for that earlier penalty.
Yeah, I guess not. Okay.
Been some confusion in both halves about how many timeouts the Cardinals have. So this will be 4th down and 4 for Bethel. A chance here, we'll do more of this at the end of the broadcast, but this is our final Naperville Community Television produced broadcast of the season. So an opportunity just to shout out Carl Schultz, Justin Cornwell, and everybody behind the scenes who make these broadcasts possible, who make us sound good, who make the games look good. We could not do these without all of them. So a big thank you to them.
Especially the cameramen out there freezing today.
Of course, a big thank you to everybody at North Central as well. Sports Information Director Nick Osterloo and his entire team.
First rate, there are none better.
Fourth and 4 out of the timeout. 4 wide receivers here for Bethel. Drews to throw, under pressure, got it away, it's batted down. J.P. Sullivan got up and got big. Turnover on downs, Cardinals take over.
Boy, the Cardinal defense has just been masterful in the entire second half here. Other than that one big play, they've been great. Coming up huge here.
J.P. Sullivan back-to-back weeks with a pass breakup.
Big mitt.
That's his 7th of the year. That's a defensive tackle with 7 pass breakups.
Preposterous.
One of the many preposterous things about this North Central Cardinal football team.
Mm-hmm.
And Asheru goes right back out there running back, and he's joined by Galashki Blaze. Blaze, the junior out of Chatham, Illinois. Asheru, QB keeper, finding his way forward and tackled by Marcus Whiting after a gain of 5.
Yeah, that makes me think that McNeil's done. And that makes me think that they're mad at Rashid. And it makes me think that maybe Williams is dinged up and he's probably done for the day too.
We'll have to see if Garrett Wilson's day is over as well.
I would be shocked if they put him back in. You're not going to let him get cold and then...
Yeah, especially not today.
Right.
Cardinals on their way to hosting yet another semifinal here in Naperville. Looking to follow up one of the more impressive games in recent D3 football memory, that 66-0 win over Susquehanna here last year. Asheru to Blaze. Galashki Blaze cutting up field. He's got a first down.
Some extracurriculars here.
Galashki Blaze, who of course went to the same high school as Luke Lanin.
Who?
Some guy who now plays his football in Texas.
How many Gallardies he got?
2, which is
2, okay.
More than most people. More than most people who've won the Gallardi. Somebody else will win it this year. No three-peat for Luke.
Nobody's ever done 3.
First and 10 at the 35. Asheru fakes the pitch and maybe wishes he pitched it because he's brought down for a 2-yard loss. Bethel call timeout.
Interesting time to call timeout.
Dawson Trebolo limping away from this
Timeout.
play.
Bethel, their first of the half.
And maybe a situation where if you see anybody banged up, you just pull them from the game at this point.
That's probably smart.
Up in River Falls, that game remains 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Again, you won't hear us next weekend.
No, this is it for us.
Got to double check. I believe those games next week are on ESPNU, but they may be here on ESPN Plus.
I think so. I think they stay on ESPN Plus. I'm almost certain.
Okay, so you can tune in where you found this broadcast. So there was a try-box during the early part of the day with all 3 games at once. That was a cool option to see for D3 football fans. As Glaschke Blaze is brought down for a loss. Great penetration by Elijah Clausen.
Excellent job by Clausen, kind of getting in there and getting a hand on his ankle.
Second charge timeout to Bethel. Garrett Wilson was back in the game for that play.
He was. Yeah, watch him go in low. He fights through that block. Excellent
Timeout.
job.
Bethel, their second of the half. Please reset the game clock to 6:43. 6:43.
Give him that second back.
And then, of course, after the semifinals, you can watch the Stag Bowl on Sunday, January the 4th in prime time on ESPN. That Sunday night kickoff time. It's something they switched to last year that I think we liked that. We heard a lot of people have good things to say about.
Yeah, it's nice that it's a night game. There's not a whole lot going on at that time, so.
It's also just an opportunity, there for the D3 championship game to get on ESPN proper in prime time.
Right.
Which that Sunday night slot affords, given the NFL schedule and its particular locations of broadcast. Third down and 13 for the Cardinals. Garrett Wilson back in the game, sends Blaze in motion. Wilson to throw with time, as he's had all day. Wilson looking downfield for Thomas Skokna, incomplete.
Yeah, and Skokna, again.
There's a flag down on the far side of the field.
I don't know what that is.
Right
find out.
at the line of scrimmage. And I think this is on the Cardinals because they're going to go ask Bethel if they want it enforced. They look like they don't.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 11. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
So they called it on Jalen Johnson, suggesting that maybe he was covered up on the play.
Yeah. Is this the first time we've seen Chip Dose today? Second time?
Chip Dose has 1 punt today for 33 yards.
Okay. It's been a while.
It was in the first quarter.
Right.
Cardinals spread out a bit here. You got to figure if you're Bethel, you got to be going all out for the block. I'm surprised they flared those guys out to follow.
If you don't, you throw it to him.
Dose gets the kick away, and this spirals and takes a Cardinal bounce. It goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line of Bethel. Now with 1 timeout remaining and 6:26 to go in the ball game. There's a few team stats to run down here while we have a chance. First downs, 23-17 in North Central's favor. Rushing, 320 yards for the Cardinals, 112 for the Royals. Receiving yards, only 83 for North Central, 147 for Bethel. It has not been a day to throw the football. Group of 4 again heads out wide for the Royals. Cooper Drews takes the ball and throws it out there. There was a push in the back there on Trayvon Hunter, and it sprung Vibrock again. He's across midfield. Vibrock, excuse me.
Apologies.
It's on my pronunciation guide and everything.
Yeah.
First and 10 at the 44. Tegan Vibrock been the man of the second half.
I know, he's looked great, especially in this 4th quarter.
Drews to throw. Over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Getting a hand on it was the backup defensive end, Tucker Johnson.
I don't know what he was doing 5 yards down the field, but
you know what's notable? The Cardinals have the backup defense out there for the most part.
yeah, they do.
Eli Rennick and Maverick Ole are still out there, but Johnson, White, Carlton, Harp, Rutherford, Georgie, Hunter, among others. This ball down the far side is dropped.
Wow. Should have been caught.
Vibrock had it, and then he didn't. On the coverage was Lucas Rossini.
Yeah, so the Cardinals are calling this one good. I'm interested to see who comes out on offense. I mean, we've seen some substitutions, but still a lot of the main guys are in.
Kyler Green out there as well. Again, with these limited dress lists for the playoffs, you can't really field a full B team. Vibrock was open again, and Drews just missed him.
Wow.
3rd and 10.
Yeah, this is already fourth down, isn't it?
It is 4th and 10.
Yeah.
4th and 10. Rundell is in the slot to the near side. Vibrock at the top of your picture, and now he's going to be joined by some friends. Fourth and 10. Drews. Time over the middle, has Vibrock downfield, and he makes the catch.
He really has been the man of the fourth quarter here.
Gabriel Georgie makes the tackle.
But he looks big, too.
Tegan Vibrock is 6'3", 195.
Yeah, that's a big boy. He was double covered on this, too, and still came down with that ball.
Sophomore out of Osceola, Wisconsin. Run up the middle here for Jeebly. Picks up 3.
Yeah, that run is just to keep him honest. They need to throw the football here almost nonstop. Preserve the clock, if nothing else, even if you don't complete the pass.
They hand it off again. Jeebly is spun down at the 4, and the clock keeps ticking. Maybe the focus here more than anything with the game at the state it's at is, hey, let's just get in the end zone.
Sure.
Jeebly again up the middle, and then he was met late. I think Rossini in the secondary made the tackle.
They have an opportunity. That's a first down, I believe. Yeah.
It is a first down. First and goal at the 1. Cooper Drews into the end zone for the touchdown. Drews gets his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, and it's the first score since the first quarter for the Bethel Royals.
Yeah, and against the backup defense, but they look great. Vibrock, great series for him. Getting it done on the ground a little bit, too, there at the end.
Tegan Vibrock, 5 receptions for 123. And the extra point is good. Barely cleared the heads of the line and went right over the crossbar, courtesy of Ryan Bankston, as we see Cooper Drews just trot in here. And Drews will be back next year, Grant, for his 3rd year as the full-time starter in this offense. And you'd have to like Bethel's chances to be back at this quarterfinal stage a year from now.
Yeah, at the very least, this is a great football team. They're going to sharpen up this offseason. This is only the 2nd year, I believe, for the head coach as well.
Correct. Coach Mike McElroy.
Yeah, so.
Also, you've got Tay Mans as a true freshman at running back. David Jeebly is a redshirt junior, which would indicate that he could stay for another year if he would like, but is likely an academic senior. Vibrock's a sophomore. Rundell's a junior.
Yeah.
So this offense should be well
Everybody's
stocked.
back. Yeah, they're going to be nasty next year.
And we are in an onside kick formation here for...
Which is weird because they line up in their onside kick formation every time, and they're not using it here.
And this isn't NFL rules. You don't have to tell the other team you're doing it. So Eli Nowoski has the ball on the tee. We saw UW Lacrosse successfully execute an onside kick last week. That ball, though, didn't even have a tee. It was laying sideways on the ground. Nowoski hits this into the dirt, and it's pounced upon by a Cardinal. That is Isaac Banker collecting the kick.
Yeah, and they didn't even wait for that thing to go 10 yards, which was, I think, the mistake last week.
So the Cardinals will send some version of the offense onto the field. To your point, I'm curious who we'll see. without a full second team dressed, how many subs do you make?
Right, as many as you can. And then just run the football.
Well, the offensive line is still the starters. And other than that, we've got subs.
Yeah, and leaving the offensive line out there makes sense because you want to pick up first downs here.
Jake Pieper, David Ballard III, and Miles Walton are at wide receiver. Will Diamond is at tight end. Galashki Blaze is at running back. We have whistles.
Play game, offense,
My
5-yard
goodness.
penalty, first down.
I think that's the second one of the game for the Cardinals.
It is.
I don't think they had 2 all year.
No, I mean, not in the games that we called anyway. Give us the Blaze, wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere. He's getting a score from the UW River Falls Wheaton game. 7-0 River Falls as the second quarter begins.
All right. Wheaton hanging in there, putting that Top Gun offense on ice.
Again, think about the way this game looked in the first half.
Sure.
It was 7-7 at one point. It was 14-7, and it was inches away from being 14-all at the half. Second and 18 for the Cardinals. Asheru hands it off. Galashki Blaze is going nowhere. And again, they know the run is coming. So credit to Bethel for preparing accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of sending the kitchen sink.
Timeout. Bethel, their third and final.
Bethel take their final timeout here ahead of third and very long.
Just roll Asheru out. Tell him to run if he can. If not, or if you see somebody wide open, then chuck it.
Otherwise, maybe slide down for a gain of a couple and punt the football.
Right, exactly. They're out of timeouts now, so.
Garrett Wilson today went 9 of 17 for a season low 83 yards, going below his season low from last week. But again, it is cold out there.
Yeah, it is
today.
very cold.
Donovan McNeil, 25 rushes, 144 and 3 touchdowns. You'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Williams, 16 carries for 90 yards and a score. Garrett Wilson ran 7 times for 55 yards. Zeb Rashid, 4 rushes for 15 yards and a score. Jack Rummel, 5 catches, 45 yards. David Jeebley, meanwhile, 80 yards for Bethel. Cooper Drews has thrown for 202, a touchdown and a pick. Asheru trying to get creative and eventually is stopped at the 47. Gain of 2. And we got a player down for Bethel. There was an offensive lineman blocking way downfield for the Cardinals.
Yeah, whoever that was got pancake late.
Timeout on the field for an injury.
It's number 43.
That's the DN.
That's Abdallah Abed. Not one of the guys who came into today with an injury we were aware of. Helped back to his feet.
Seems to be okay. Always like to see that.
Maybe just got a finger in the eye or something.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, certainly hope that's not what it was, but.
Mo Howard out there.
So the punting crew comes on with 3:26 to go in the ball game. Devin Williams back to return. He hasn't gotten a chance to show his skills in this role yet today. Averaged over 16 yards per return this season.
Wow.
Did have a return touchdown in there, which certainly helps your average.
Yeah, they're going to run this clock all the way down, too.
You wonder if they'll snap this ball or take an intentional delay of game again.
Yeah, we'll see.
No one in any particular hurry here.
They still got 10 seconds. They got to milk off this thing.
Again, a note for the games next week. They will be staggered kickoff times. One of them will be in this time slot that you are used to, as Chip Dose gets a good kick away, and Williams will field it at the 25 where he steps out of bounds. So one of the games will be early and in this time slot, and one of the games should be a kickoff around 3 o'clock Central Time. It's often determined by where those games are. If UW River Falls wins and both games are in the Central Time Zone, then you just kind of got to
be a coin flip, right?
if Johns Hopkins is the higher NPI seed and they are hosting, you would see them host the early game and North Central would host the late game.
Correct, yep.
1st and 10 for Bethel. Cooper Drew's still out there. Tay Mans gets the carry. Mans with a hurdle off the football. And
he dropped it.
Carlton Jr.
Wow.
is on it, and there's a referee on the far side.
They're saying he's down? No, he was in the middle of the air when that came out.
The referee on the far side is saying the ground caused the fumble. There's not really a lot of time to argue this.
Here, wait, no, look where this thing comes. I think he's in mid-air when this pops out, unless I'm mistaken.
Let's take a look.
Oh, no, the ground did cause it. That's a good call.
Drews to throw it on the far side. V-Brock again broken up by Kenny Rutherford at the last moment.
Wow, Kenny Rutherford sticking the hand out there and making it happen.
Rutherford, of course, who only returned a couple of weeks ago from an Achilles injury he suffered midway through the 2024 season.
Yeah, great seeing him out there.
2nd and 10. We have a tie game in River Falls. Wheaton are on the board early in the 2nd quarter, 7-7. Drews again to throw, again in trouble. Over the middle, guess who? V-Brock.
Yeah, and that's, they threw a bunch of those screens last week, and I think against the first-team Cardinal defensive line, they were not keen to do that.
A, Cooper Drews didn't have much time as we hit the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
And B, trying to throw it over the likes of Sullivan and Ole and Medina.
And I just think that the discipline on that D-line is too good. I don't think that they would be fooled.
12 minutes to go, 2nd quarter, UW River Falls 7, Wheaton 7.
So Mark Forcucci with a 1-yard rushing touchdown, maybe a tush push of sorts on the goal line. Gets Wheaton into the game, and Seth Kortenhoven already has 5 receptions in that one.
Oh, wow, he is impressive.
Caleb Blaha, meanwhile, is 9 of 14 for 118 yards and a score through a quarter. That also checks out. Just casually on pace for 400 yards in a game where your team only has 7 points. 3rd and 1 for Bethel out of the 2-minute timeout. Up the middle, Mans. Tackle by Philip Carlton for a 1st down.
Surprised they are running the football. I think they might just be calling this one.
Right. Or again, they're just kind of staying in what they do. Throw to the far side. Good open field tackle by Rutherford to just grab V-Brock around the waist and not let him get anywhere.
Yeah, inbounds too, no less.
That keeps the clock running under 100 seconds to go. Second and 5. Drews, pump fake, looking downfield, has a man to the near side. Catch is made by Staska, and he's tackled at the 20.
Surprised he decided to go back to the inside too.
Clock is temporarily stopped as they reset the chains. Drews, play action, standing in to the far side. That ball is broken up by Rutherford.
Rutherford looking great in this 4th quarter.
Roman James, the intended receiver.
The pass was broken up by Kenny Rutherford.
That stops the clock at 1:10 to go. Second and 10. Drews to the near side, to the end zone. It's caught. What a great back shoulder throw to Tyler Terry for the score.
Yeah, Terry recognizing exactly where that ball was too. That was perfect.
Jamar Daniel had the coverage. And the Royals get a 3rd score. Well, we've seen some good 2-minute drill style work over the last couple of weeks from teams. UW Lacrosse last week made that a 1-score game with a touchdown as time expired. Bethel, a couple late scores here.
I mean, they're 2-minute all the time anyway, so they better be good at it.
Bankston is good on the extra point. Again, barely.
Looked like a free throw.
I think that might have gotten tipped at the line.
I don't know. The way that ball came through was funny.
So we watch this really nice throw from Cooper Drews to Tyler Terry.
Royals scoring drive, 8 plays,
He caught it, trust me.
75 yards, a minute 38 off the game clock.
There we go.
Get a better look at it here.
There we go.
Just a really nice throw by Drews.
Terry,
With his 2 touchdowns today, that's 43 passing touchdowns on the season for Cooper Drews.
So watch the onside here, of course.
Royals 21.
The game is not over, as they say.
If I was Bethel, though, I wouldn't telegraph the onside this time. I would do that big group of guys in the middle of the field thing and just
Why not?
run after it.
Uh-huh.
Instead, they're going to look for the traditional style again. I just hope you get that hop.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, up in River Falls, the Thunder giving
Will kick it away for the Royals.
the Falcons a game they're not used to. Here's the bouncing kick. It hits somebody. And let's see. Cardinal
North
football.
Central ball. Yeah, that's the danger, right? Of if that did not look like it was going 10 yards.
No.
So you can let that thing go out of bounds, right? And then just take the ball. But there's the danger that it does do the weird thing and does go 10 yards, which is what we saw last week with lacrosse. So it's kind of a, catch-22 there.
Cardinals will have 1st and 10 at the Bethel 43. Bethel are
Yeah,
out.
that guy jumps over it, and then it bounces off. It was at 33.
I think it's Nuccio.
Yeah, I think Nuccio hits him, bounces funny and hits him in the hand.
So this just should be the Cardinals kneeing the game out with 1:04 to go, and Bethel unable to stop the clock. Demir Asheru with David Ballard III, Jake Pieper, and Galashki Blaze in the backfield.
Central is in victory.
And Demir takes a knee. Cardinals are going to advance to yet another semifinal. Their 6th in a row.
6th in a row, which is wild to think about. And of course, avenging the last time that they did not go to a semifinal with this win today, because Bethel was the last team to prevent that.
Bethel winning here in the 2nd round in 2018 as Asheru takes another knee, and that is going to do it. A good late effort from Bethel, but it was too little too late. And the North Central Cardinals victorious again at home in the quarterfinals. This time a 35-21 win over Bethel will send them to the semifinals next week, where they will host John Carroll with a trip to the Stag Bowl on the line.
Of course, John Carroll, formerly of the OAC, this year of the NCAC, and they are looking great. They dethroned Mount Union, their former OAC rival, last week with a heck of a goal line stand in double overtime.
And they went down to Georgia today and got that win over Barry. And so John Carroll will come here to Bennett Eddie Worley Stadium next week, looking to book their trip to the Stag Bowl. Meanwhile, North Central will be looking to maintain their residency in the Division III National Championship game, where they have played in every edition of it dating back to 2019. Just a really competitive game today, Grant Sabo, where the Cardinals and the Royals were in a rock fight in that first half. Really competitive back and forth game. In the end, the turning moment was that goal line stand by North Central at the end of the first half. Cooper Drews comes up a yard short on the 4th down QB keeper, and then it was all Cardinals in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah. Once the 3rd quarter started, that was it. And, Cardinals do what they've done every game in the 3rd quarter this year, and that's explode offensively. Really great job by the Cardinal defense, of course, all day today. Coach Durking had a wonderful scheme dialed up, and barring a couple of nice long drives in the second half, or excuse me, in the 2nd quarter, we really saw a wonderful defensive performance by the Cardinals today.
That Cardinals defense showing why they had so much success this year, a team that was allowing less than a touchdown a game. That was true of Bethel as well. We saw these teams really going toe-to-toe in that first half. but the Cardinals pulled away in the third quarter, got a third touchdown of the second half right at the start of the fourth, and they are going back to the semifinals. Grant, as we wrap this up, both this game and our fourth year together calling these games here at North Central, just a team that has been so impressive in some new ways, but what hasn't changed is just the competence, the confidence, and just the overall quality with which this team plays. Brad Spencer and his crew, deservedly going back to the semifinals.
Yeah, this is a team that came into this season with a lot of question marks. You remember our first phone call with Coach Spencer at the beginning of this year. First thing he said to us was, I bet you got a lot of questions about our offense.
Yeah.
And they've answered them throughout the course of the season here. We've really seen a good offense at the start of the season that has progressed and gotten even better as the season has gone on. So, and you see here the result against a very good Bethel Royals team.
And we saw them really today lean into the strength of the running game. Again, hey, it's not a good day for throwing the football. Wilson's maybe just a bit off. Put your faith in that once makeshift offensive line at the beginning of the season, but now really strong unit in guys like Donovan McNeil and Jordan Williams in the backfield, and those guys will get the job done. And put faith in your defense. Again, that defensive line, I've said it several times this season, I think is the best individual unit in the country. They have been so impressive this year. And meanwhile, Bethel, they got to be proud of another really solid season. Back-to-back quarterfinal appearances under Mike McElroy in his first 2 years. A lot of parallels you can draw to what Brad Spencer has done here in Naperville. And Bethel have an opportunity to establish themselves as the kings of the MEAC over St. John's, who've held that title for, basically
since
forever.
They kicked St. Thomas out.
Right. And so it's a situation where they've got a really good opportunity with a young coach and a young team to be a force to be reckoned with in D3 football for a lot of years to come.
Yeah, I mean, they can hold their heads high. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of these guys are going to be back next year, and look for them to continue their run here.
And we talked about this quite a bit in the week leading up to this game about, would we see the Cardinals play a little extra hard today in memory of Jeff Thorne? And I think we can safely say that Coach Thorne would be proud of the effort that these guys put in today.
Yeah, no doubt. Doing the refuse to lose chant at the end there, and that's something that the Thorns brought with them from Wheaton South, and it's something that is not just a saying, but a mindset around here, and it's something that Coach Thorne demonstrated throughout his entire life, including in his final battle there. And it's just he was always there setting the example, and I'm humbled and grateful that our lives intersected in such a meaningful way here, and that's a legacy that's going to continue for absolutely ever on this campus, and and anywhere he's been, and with anybody that he's has had the good fortune to meet him.
Yeah, the strength from John Thorne is really the patriarch of modern Cardinal football in so many ways, to Jeff and now to Brad Spencer and that coaching lineage. It's just the tradition that has been built here, the success that continues to be built upon here in Naperville, endlessly impressive, and the Cardinals pursuing the rare feat of a back-to-back championship. It's something they haven't done yet, and they're looking to check that off the list of impressive recent accomplishments of this program. Again, a massive thank you to the entire Naperville Community Television crew, Executive Director Liz Spencer, with Sports Director Justin Cornwell, and Tech and Production Extraordinaire Carl Schultz, all leading the way. The camera crews throughout the season, the people working replay in the truck. So much goes into these broadcasts and making them look and sound like they do. We appreciate them so much. Again, a huge shout out and a thank you to everybody at North Central, Athletic Director Jim Miller and his entire staff. Again, Sports Information Director Nick Osterlew and his staff for all the work they do to support us, to support these broadcasts, and to support this football team and all of the athletic programs here at North Central. Also got to shout out Jim Godo, the public address announcer, who's been here all season as the in-stadium voice of the Cardinals. He continues to do a great job and be a nice little extra soundtrack for us. And then again, I've got to give a big thank you to my broadcast partner here, Grant Sabo. This has been just immensely fun again this year, a fourth year doing this together. And you know what? We'll be maybe in the stands next week, maybe at home watching on ESPN Plus, like all of you listening to us right now, for the semifinal next week, where we get to be part of this in a little different way. And it's really fun that for these last several years in a row, we get to have that experience of getting to step out of the booth for a week.
Sure, and it's, of course, my great honor to call the games with you. I always tell everybody, you make me sound good, and it's greatly appreciated.
Now, hey, I appreciate that and can't wait until we're back here again come September next year, standing in this booth here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. And hopefully, from a Cardinals perspective, it'll be to celebrate the back-to-back national champs. But there's 3 games still to be played over the next 2 weekends in Division III football. There's a 4th that has to be finished up in River Falls. If you stayed with us this long, we greatly appreciate it, but I would encourage you to now go turn on that game instead, as that is going to do it today for our broadcast from North Central here in the Division III quarterfinals. For everybody at North Central, at NCTV, and for my broadcast partner, Grant Sabo, I am Alex Campbell, signing off for football at North Central in 2025. Congrats to Brad Spencer and the North Central Cardinals on another semifinal, and we'll be watching them next week as they host John Carroll with a trip to the Stag Bowl on the line. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in, whether you just tuned in today or all season long. We appreciate it so much, and we will see you in the stands next week or on the stream next year. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.